and we are shortly going to be going live on YouTube, so please call in all your YouTube friends. Please remember to subscribe to both our YouTube and Facebook pages at the OneMic Show, and follow us on Instagram and TikTok. We're also taking in live calls tonight. The number to call, 202-683-4570. Press star 5 to speak. The number to call again is 202-683-4570. Press star 5 to speak. Now, this hour, we are turning our focus, this hour we are turning our focus into something very grave that's happening in our society today. We're actually gonna be talking about immigration. Now, have you ever asked yourself, if I have legal status, why do I feel nervous? Tonight's conversation is for you. In recent weeks, immigrants across the country, from green card holders, naturalized citizens, have been gripped with fear. Stories of airport secondary inspections, whispers about denaturalization, viral claims about phone searches, and all cases being reopened. Tonight, we are stepping back from the noise to ask, what's legally possible, what's politically amplified, and what's simply social media panic. Now, joining us shortly to unpack all is immigration attorney Fatmata Barrie. She's here to separate fear from fact and panic from policy. So start dropping your comments below and let us know where you're tuned in from, what city, what state, what country you're tuned in from. And the number to call is 202-683-4570. Press star 5 to speak. Again, the number to call is 202-683-4570. Press star 5 to speak. Again, 202-683-4570. Press star 5 to speak. Na bila kusahau, tunapokea mziki toka DJ wetu machachari, mleta habari DJ Moshfire, na tutadunda kule viwanjani na Mika Jezeke nambari 7 mgongoni, akiletea habari za michezo moja kwa moja toka Kilimanjaro Studios. Ni mimi mtangazaji na mwanahabari wako mpendwa Ali Badawi. Kwetu wananiita Abu Hisham, na wengine mniite mjukuu wa Masai, because I'm Kenyan by blood, American by design, Masai by choice. Sichagui, sikagui, na sibagui. Karibuni.
Now, let's talk politics.
Now, this hour we are turning our focus to growing anxiety surrounding immigrants across the United States, from airport secondary inspection to whispers about denaturalization to viral claims about ICE raids and phone searches at the border. Immigration attorney Fatmata Barrie will be joining us shortly to break down what's legally possible, what's politically amplified, and what's simply social media panic. If you've ever wondered whether legal status alone is enough protection in today's climate, this conversation is for you. And please drop a comment below and let us know where you're tuned in from, what city, what country, what state. Again, and the number to call is 202-683-4570. Press star 5 to speak. Again, it's 202-683-4570. Press star 5 to speak. I can see hapa Washeke Ndirangu anasema, I'm tuned in from Buenos Aires. I don't even know that Aires is spelled correctly.
Does she have an immigration visa?
Yes, Buenos Aires. I don't even know where that is, because that spelling, I've never seen Buenos Aires spelled like that.
Nizile bonoko za huko ushago?
Yes, do hizo hapo. Again, the number to call is 202-683-4570. Press star 5 to speak. We have a lot to uncover tonight, and we want to be separating fact from fear, because there's a lot of things that people have been talking about, and things that sometimes people are not quite sure. Some of them are viral stories on WhatsApp, and I can see also Esther Mulusa is already tuned in from the Barrie South in North Carolina.
Dori, South Kakalaki.
Yes, in South Carolina. Okay, so we're going to get started right away, because we have so much to cover.
Yes.
Now, we live in an age where immigration headlines move faster than the law itself, where one airport story turns into national panic and one viral post convinces legal immigrants they are no longer safe. But tonight, we're not here for hysteria. We're here to get clarity, because the real question isn't just what is ICE doing, or what does the law actually allow? And to help us separate fact from fear, we are joined by someone who lives at the intersection of immigration law and public policy. Fatmata Barrie is a seasoned immigration attorney who has represented families, asylum seekers, professionals, and long-time green card holders navigating one of the most complex legal systems in the country. She's advised clients facing detention, removal proceedings, travel complications, and citizenship hurdles. She's been on the front lines, translating policy shifts into practical protection for immigrant communities. And now she's stepping into public service. She's running for the Democratic Montgomery County Council at large seat right here in the state of Maryland. So she's not just watching immigration policy, she's helping shape the broader political environment that affects it, which makes tonight's conversation even more important. And the big question tonight is, are immigrants panicking unnecessarily, or are we underestimating the moment that we are currently in? And for those who love politics, we've not forgotten about you. Towards the end of the show, we're going to talk about Edwin Sifuna being removed as the ODM Secretary General. So stay tuned for that. But without much further ado, ladies and gentlemen, please drop your favorite emoji in the chat and help me welcome immigration attorney, community advocate, and Montgomery County Council candidate at large, Miss Fatmata Barrie. Fatmata, karibu sana to the OneMic Show. How are you doing today?
Bienvenue.
Bienvenue.
Oh,
Yeah.
sorry.
Yeah, please get a bit closer to the mic because I can't hear you.
Oh, perfect.
Yes.
Is that better?
Yes.
Really?
No, it's like you're afraid to talk.
Okay.
Miss-
How are you feeling today?
I'm feeling good. And for those in the audience, this is like family. So excuse the messing around.
Okay. All right. And,
why?
you know, before we get into the Immigration Masterclass that we're looking to have tonight, how is the campaign trail going so far?
It's good. I would say doing pretty well. We've earned 4 different endorsements, 2 of which were our educators, both retired and current. Have endorsed the campaign. Our local union, SEIU Local 500, has endorsed the campaign, and Immigrant Rights Organization, CASA in Action, has endorsed the campaign. So it's a good, diverse group. Still waiting for some more, but it's been good. We have been able to raise money from over 350 Montgomery County residents. And this is only because even after we just started doing real fundraising, I think August or so, I started making phone calls to people.
Yes.
So it's been organic, so it's good. It feels good.
What exactly does it mean when CASA this or this organization endorses you? Because, you know, like, I don't know them, you know, so what exactly does it mean when a certain union endorses you, or what exactly does it mean for you on the ballot?
So what it means in this case, because I'm doing what's called public financing, so they can't give me money,
Okay.
but they can promote me to their membership, right? So
Okay.
all the teachers, educators, para-educators in Montgomery County will be encouraged by the teachers union, the educators, the Apple ballot to vote for me. So will the retired educators will also be encouraged, and the membership within CASA in Action and whoever they can reach out to will be encouraged to vote for me, and ask the same for the unions. So this is just to say that they believe in your race, in your campaign. They believe that you will represent them well when and if you're elected. And that is the whole idea, right? So for some of us, like myself, who comes from an education family, my grandmother was a teacher, my sister is a professor. I come from a background of educators, and of course, as you know, my community activism and work for working families. So all that means a lot to someone like myself. That means they have confidence in me, and it makes me feel good. And basically, it's to get people to support.
Okay. All right. Again, the number to call is 202-683-4570. Press star 5 to speak. Fatmata Barrie in studio, immigration attorney. Now, let's get straight to what we want to talk about today. And I'll just get straight to the point. If I have a work permit, a valid student visa, a green card, or even U.S. citizenship, is there any reason for me to be worried at this point?
I think the question is not so much, do I have a reason to be worried? It should be more a case of making sure all your things are in order. So if you're here legally, right, you have your green card, you have your student visa, you have all these things, Generally speaking, you shouldn't be worried as, in the term of worried, right? Just make sure that you are doing what needs to be done to protect your status. So if all you have is a work permit, that does not give you a status. It just means you have a work permit. So you could be having a work permit for varied reasons, right? Some people have work permits because maybe they filed for asylum and it's still pending, so they give you a work permit. You file for a green card and it's still pending and you get a work permit. That does not mean you have a legal status. It just means that you are, at this particular time, we are reviewing, and so we're going to give you something to live off of until we make a decision on your case. Now, unfortunately, the environment we're in today, it used to be protection once your application is filed, but not really anymore. So it's not that you didn't used to be deportable. It was more that there was a understanding that you are going through the legal process. But now they have chosen and decided that some people may still be detained if they are applying for asylum, and so forth. So just make sure you have your documentations on you. Make sure you have your ID on you, but do not have your foreign passport on you.
Do not have your foreign passport on you.
Foreign passport on you.
Okay. And why is that?
Especially if you're undocumented, because that shows that you are a foreigner. So if you have a state ID, have your state ID on you.
Mm-hmm.
If you have a work permit, have your work permit on you. But do not have your foreign passport. If you have a U.S. passport, even that, you don't want to carry around a passport. But if you're a green card holder, the law says technically you're supposed to be walking around with your green card anyway, regardless, not just now, but that was always the law.
Oh.
That you're supposed to carry your green card with you.
Oh, really?
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's always been the law to
right.
carry your green card. It's just we didn't, and they didn't care. As long as, if you have your driver's license, it's your ID. I mean, it shows. But now, we are in the time of asking for papers to prove who you are.
Now, in the time of asking for papers, before I introduce the rest of the panel, there's quite a bit of confusion out there with acronyms. So ICE has been on the news a lot, so I think most people understand what ICE is. There is another acronym, CBP. There's another acronym, USCIS. What do these acronyms mean, and who does what?
And there's DHS.
And who has the power to detain you on the spot? And there's DHS.
Well, DHS is where they all live.
Okay.
Right. So
DHS is...
So what is DHS?
Department of Homeland Security.
Okay.
Right. So that's Department of Homeland Security. Original intent of DHS has really skewed a lot. So it's doing a lot more than or not doing as much as it should be doing in the other spheres, which would have been focusing on terrorism, like international terror, right? And trying to stop that from happening, because that was really why that was happening after 9/11.
After 9/11,
left hand didn't know what the right hand was doing, and all what happened then. Border Patrol, that's the CBP. It's Border Patrol, generally at the border.
Okay.
Right?
Are these the same people you're going to see at the airport?
Correct.
Okay.
The same people you're going to see at the airport.
Okay.
They're the same people that may pull you out and be like, we need to do some further inspection of you.
Yes.
That's the Border Patrol. USCIS is who we send our applications to. So when you are filing to adjust your status, you send your application to USCIS, United States Immigration and
Customs
and Immigration Services.
So USCIS is where you send your applications to, right?
Okay.
And they're the ones that review and make a determination whether you get approved or not.
Okay.
So that's them. ICE are sort of the police of
Immigration.
So they are the ones that will take you and put you somewhere. So the Border Patrol are the ones that determine whether you can come into the country.
Okay.
And they can say yes or they can say no. So sometimes people are confused. They're like, well, I have my visa and I stick into the thing. They have control to determine whether they will let you in or not.
Does that include green card holders?
Everybody who enters the country has to go through border patrol.
Okay.
So have to go through a border, and that includes planes, airports. So people think border is just when you walk over. Border is just literally how you enter the United States or enter any country, for that matter. So if you're coming in, you have your passport, for instance, and they say, oh, you're a naturalized citizen, but there's something here in this file or this computer thing brought up something about you. We need to figure something out. They can hold you and question and do, what they do.
So can they revoke like your green card, for example?
They cannot revoke anybody anything.
Okay.
They can detain you.
Okay.
They can hold you, but they cannot revoke anything because they don't make decisions one way or the other. Okay.
All right. Yeah. So thank you so much for clarifying that. Again, Fatmata Barrie in studio. We're talking immigration tonight, and the number to call is 202-683-4570. Press *5 to speak. I want to let the panel in. We have a surprise today, and I'm going to start right on my left here. We have Ruth. Ruth, karibu sana. It's been a very long time. Karibu sana. So, yeah, maybe just briefly in a minute, maybe tell people why you abandoned us and disappeared from us. And then I also want to know, what are the wildest stories you've been hearing so far?
Oh, my goodness. Okay, one, I did not abandon you guys.
Right? No. She did not abandon.
Yeah, no.
She absconded responsibilities and duties.
I went to
Did she give you guys notice?
Nope.
to find
Let Truth
myself.
talk, guys. Let Truth talk.
I went to find myself, and I don't think at that point you need to talk to anybody.
Okay. All right, good. Now, while you were finding yourself, were there any wild immigration stories?
Where you are finding?
Where I was finding myself.
Yeah.
Yes. I think as much as I try to stay away from the U.S. news, it's still filtered through, especially on social media. And every so often in the news as well, like mainstream news. But wild stories, I think there's this girl or lady in Boston that was picked up on the street. That was early of last year.
Was that the one who wrote an op-ed piece?
I don't even...
From a different country.
She was from a different country. But remember, on social media, some of the stories you're listening to, you don't have the full context of why these things are happening.
Right.
What you're seeing is literally she's just texting somebody and people come from nowhere and they whisk her away. So to me, that was wild. Because I think we've grown up knowing that those things don't happen in the States. And then you're
especially having grown up in Boston, or should I say resided in Boston, right?
I did live in Boston for a good chunk of time. And so seeing that in a city I've been in was and also it's Boston. I don't think you guys fully understand. Boston is like a sanctuary city. It's very liberal. Like these things don't happen there. They actually try to protect people from that. So seeing that happening there, that was crazy. And one of the reasons, I'm not saying it's the reason I extended my stay, but it was more like, do I have to deal with this? Do I have to deal with this news all the time? Also, I mean, I work downtown DC, and at some point DC became a very sad place to go to, and I was like,
with troops all over,
National Guard,
or just
all
rather,
of that. Okay,
rather not be there because I'll be facing it every day. So
and then you'll be profiled.
You just never know. Even coming back, that was
if you look Latino,
she does look Latino.
Well, you all decided I'm yellow.
She
today,
she could be Maria.
Who's your? Please.
The camera. Anyway, let me say, I'm so excited to be back in the studio. I know it's not for too long, but I am super excited to be here and to see everybody. It was such a great reunion when I came back. So when I walked in today, so it was really it's fun.
Okay.
And mkisikia wakipiga kelele hapa, it's the love. It's just showing up in different ways.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Thank you so much, Ruth. And hapa Esther Mulusa anasema, I am intrigued by a woman of color who can go and find herself. I always imagined it's a white women's preserve luxury. That's Esther Mulusa.
Well, what does she expect? She lived in Boston.
And then Appa Washeke is asking, before I go to the rest of the panel, Washeke is asking, what are instances where DV lottery winners are detained and denied entry into the U.S.? Fatmata, I'm going to come back to you before I go to the rest of the panel.
Well, it probably depends, right? So on a case-by-case basis, if for whatever reason they determined it was a fraud, that could lead to them stopping you at the border coming in. If for any reason there's a reason, and then they may deny you entrance.
Okay.
Into the country.
When you're coming into the country.
Correct.
Okay, and will they take away your green card, or how does that happen?
Well, it all depends, right? If they charge you with fraud, then you may be detained and have what's called a NTA, notice to appear, to court to basically fight. If you're willing to fight it, or you admit it and they send you back.
But my question is, before they approve, before they go through the process, because if you're a DV lottery, like they go through this process of verifying you're vetted. If you had submitted an application with kids, they do DNA, like they do whatever it is. They ask you for these documents and everything, and like it is more or less like they're doing a colonoscopy. Then if they don't find anything in that process, that in intrusive progress, how then are you just going to? I mean, I know they have the power, but still, surely, like for you to be accepted, because they say, okay, you have been, because you win, you get a notification that okay, you've been accepted. Then you have to go through the process of, okay, submit this. If you submitted an application with your children, then they'll tell you, from what I've heard, is submit this and this, submit DNA. Like in Kenya, they'll ask you, okay, submit, a test with DNA to prove that these are your kids, because again, you could, and then like you have everything, and you submit, and then you've been approved. Then you get here, port of entry.
Then you buy a ticket.
Then you've bought everything. You've sold. Like.
Well, I'm not saying that it the question
has it happened before that though?
Because the question is, when can they? If you've have an approved DV, when can they stop you? That's the only thing I can think of, is if they determine at some point, for whatever reason, that it may be fraud. And then, but otherwise, there should not be a reason for them to stop you at the border coming into the country, unless something comes up between when it was approved and when you travel to come into the country. For whatever reason, something may have popped. Who knows?
Yeah.
I cannot say that I know of a particular reason or a particular instance of that happening, but that's the only thing I can think of that could possibly have caused.
Yes,
it.
and we're gonna get into that conversation. And Washeke here is saying, in this instance, a family was recently denied entry into the U.S. after winning the green card and going through the intrusive processing. So we're gonna get to that. I don't want us to get ahead of ourselves. Almost fire.
Man.
What what misinformation, for example, because there's a lot of misinformation also associated with these immigration stories. What misinformation, in your view, or in your WhatsApp news networks, is spreading fastest?
I think probably the one about what should I say? Is it dual use of passports, or how you
dual citizens,
or how you use your two passports?
Your two passports,
you know, like exit with this one, come back with this one, or carry this one, or report
or you have
this
to get
one,
a visa,
or yes, like
use
say
your
for
US
instance,
passport. You can't use your Kenyan passport. Well, the law, as I understand it, is that you have to exit with the American passport and come back in with American passport. And normally the airlines ask you when you book, you'll declare what passport you're using, and normally that should be considered your exit document, right? Because, and I don't know if you guys can tell me, when's the last time your passport was stamped? Because I'm trying to remember the last time my passport was stamped. I don't even know if do they still stamp them coming back in? I don't even know. No, I don't know.
It depends.
Because it depends.
It depends on the airport.
Yeah.
Because I think even with the global entry, I don't even know if those guys even take. They just like Hey, welcome.
There's a digital record. There's a digital record of your
but
exit and
on the
entry.
actual, I think that's how they do it. So sometimes those stamps are skewed, because especially if you're using, say, the Kenyan passport to enter Kenya, and then you're using the American passport to come back in, then, because you show both, then the one that requires a stamp is the one that gets stamped.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
And then you're waved in or you're waved out, whichever the case may be, right? So that can be, I think, very confusing. And from what we've had is that if you use your non-American passport, then you won't be allowed to come back in with your American passport. So
that's a misinformation that was spreading a lot, where like even people were being told, because now for an American who's going to Kenya, they have to get like an ETA, an electronic travel authorization, which you have to get it. I think it's at least 3 days. It's at least 72 hours before you travel. So a lot of people, like there was a lot of word going around that you cannot, like travel out. You have to get this authorization. And then if you are a dual citizen in a country that requires Americans to get a visa to go to that country, you need to go to get that visa on your American passport before you travel there. So there was a lot of these stories that were going around, and I think we're also gonna get back to them. And then I want to get to Mika. Mika, karibu sana. Mika, I want to know from you. There was a big group of people who are saying voting doesn't matter. Like last election before. Does this immigration enforcement prove otherwise? Mika Och, karibu sana na twende kazi.
Thank you very much, Ali. And I want to say thank you to Fatmata for joining us, and thank you for all our listeners for joining us this Friday. Yes, it does matter. If it didn't matter, they will not be purging the voter registries right now. They will not be trying to make ways for people not to vote. And just what this administration has done should be a lesson to everybody that voting does matter. Like voting, and the thing about especially immigrant voters. For immigrant voters, it's so sad because, for example, if I use an example of Kenyans, if you supported both presidents, you are literally effed up. Like you're effed, not effed up that you're not thinking well, like literally. When it comes to suffering from election consequences.
What do you mean by both presidents?
If you voted for the president of Kenya, if you are supporting the president of Kenya, and you are supporting the president of America.
You mean Ruto and
my
Trump?
Friend. Yeah. Yes, you my friend. What did Cat Williams say? Do you have an affinity of hanging out with losers?
Okay.
Wow.
Because you have, the thing is, these are the two worst presidents in the histories of both countries. You cannot even try to hide it. Have you ever seen a point whereby you try to put PR on something to clean up something and you look like a fool, and you look like a fool, and you just decide that I'm a clown, I'm a jester, let me entertain the suckers, but you cannot clean up certain images. It's these two guys. It's simple as that. It's simple as you say you're going to build an economy. You come in, you mess it up in your first year. I would have said I had never seen somebody mess up the economy in the first year when I was referring to Ruto. And then Trump came and proved to me that it can be done. In fact, in a better economy than even a third world country economy. So elections do matter a lot. There's a reason why they're trying to do voter suppression, so that you do not vote, so that they can continue being in power and they can continue doing what they're doing right now. Elections do matter, especially for us immigrants who are a hybrid in terms of we have two homes. You have to worry about two homes. So for you, you have to really ask yourself, when I'm voting, which of these voting blocks that I'm aligning myself to does make it easier for me to be able to be a good member of society in terms of paying taxes, surviving and living, and also ensuring that you're getting in return what you voted for, because it's hard being an immigrant. It's like you're paying double. It's like you're working. It's being an immigrant means you have an extra child. because mentally or financially or in every way, you have two residents you have to maintain in whatever. Even when you say, I'll never go back, it just gets to a point whereby you find yourself that somehow financially, emotionally, spiritually, you have to give back to where you're from. So elections do matter.
Okay, asante sana Mika. Elections do matter, and we're going to be talking about that later. Of course, immigration attorney Fatmata Barrie in studio. She's also running for Democrat Montgomery County Council Executive at Large, and we'll be talking about that
Ali, where's
later.
Montgomery County?
Montgomery County is in Maryland.
Okay.
Yes, it's
All
in the
right.
state of Maryland. Yes.
Just checking.
Yes, Montgomery County, Maryland. Yeah, because there's a lot of states that have Montgomery counties.
yes.
Yeah.
So this is Montgomery County, Maryland.
Could
Now-
have been Alabama.
Yes. Now back to you, Fatmata. Do I have no before I actually go to this question? Esther Muluseye is saying the New York Post has added reasons to visa issues like anti-Semitism or misinformation that can be discovered later. So I don't know what she means by the New York Post has added reasons. So I don't know whether this was an article on the New York Post, but anti-Semitism or misinformation, but can be discovered later. And then Washeke says elections have consequences. Now, to you, Ms. Fatmata, do I have to open my door if ICE knocks?
Simple answer is no, unless you have a judicial warrant.
What is a judicial warrant?
Judicial warrant is a warrant signed by the judge. So if a judge determines that you're deportable and you need to be removed, and that judge signs that order, then ICE has the authority to come to your door and say they have a judicial warrant for your arrest and detention.
So how does an average Pacherian like OneMic here know what a judicial warrant is? If they show you something, it's 2 a.m. in the morning.
Yeah.
How do I know that that's a judicial warrant?
Almost, you hear this?
Yeah.
Huh?
He said your average.
Okay,
He
so
said your average. Just
There
work
was
with it.
shade thrown.
it's okay. It's okay.
See,
You're being caught in the crossfire. But carry
I
on.
know. I might not always. So basically, the warrant will have administrator to sign or a judge to sign.
Yeah.
So at the bottom, you will see the signature. You will say the judge. You have the judge's name, and it will tell you it's a judge. If it's signed by a judge, and it does look a little different, maybe I'll send you guys a
copy.
example that
Yes.
you can share with people of what a judicial warrant looks like, different from what a administrative warrant looks like. Administrative warrant could be from Christy Nome, for instance, who's not
Okay.
a judge, who's nothing. She could just sign it and say, go get this person. That's administrative.
Okay.
That does not give them the power to go into your house. But what's happening right now is this. They are basically usurping the laws and policies. They are just saying they can go into your house. They can break into your home, even with just administrative warrant. But they're really not supposed to. But the unfortunate part is it's very hard to cure a violation of immigrant rights, right? Because if they detain you, especially now, they move so very fast in deporting people. They detain you today here in Maryland. They send you to a holding place in Baltimore. Next thing you know, you're in Arizona. Next thing you know, you're in Denver. And they move you from place to place. And then they finally deport you. And it's much faster than it used to be in the removal. And the unfortunate part is, once you're deported, it's very hard to come back. I know people will point to Kilmer Abrego, but Kilmer Abrego is a unique situation because our wonderful senator,
Chris Van Hollen.
our wonderful senator, got involved
Yes.
and got engaged. And he's continued to be engaged, but he's one person. He cannot be engaged in everybody's case. And there are so many real stories of the same mistakes of removing people. So unfortunately, I wish I could say that if you don't open your door, you're safe. They could break down your door. We've seen them happen. We've seen it happen.
So you're not really safe.
They can break down your door.
Can you ask them, do you have a judicial warrant?
You can ask them everything you want. When we used to do Know Your Rights, we will straight up say, and it was true, You don't have to speak to them. You don't even have to give them your name. You don't even have to say where you're from. You literally can just tell them, do you have a warrant? If they ask you, well, what's your name? Do you have a warrant? Because if they don't know your name, then it's not about you. If it's not about you, they have no right to touch you.
Okay.
So you can literally say, can I leave? Don't run. Don't walk away fast. Just ask them, can I leave now? And if they say yes, you turn around and you walk away calmly.
How are you walking away from your home when they've kicked in the door?
No, I'm not talking about your home. I'm just saying.
Okay.
If they
the
catch you in the
street.
street.
If they catch you in the street.
So talk about the
So-
house.
But in the home, if they pick you up in the home, because it's been happened, it's
Yes,
happened.
yes.
They've picked you up out of your car that you're driving.
Correct. At a
They don't
traffic
even
stop.
know who they're
Yeah.
picking up. They're just picking up people.
Oh, that's the thing I
Yeah,
wanted to
yeah.
know. They're
Yeah.
just picking like not random people, but they suspect
They
you're the
suspect
person.
you're somebody.
You're brown skinned at it.
That's it. They've actually stopped a black couple and asked them, if you have an accent. They've literally stopped somebody on the road and say, you have an accent. Okay, so what? What country are you from?
Boston.
The guy asked him, what country are you from?
Or the Somali guy, or that's somebody different?
The-
Because I remember
no,
the Somali
no,
guy.
all
Somali-
sorts of
the
people.
Uber
All
driver.
sorts of
Different.
people.
Yeah.
They
It's
have
been different. Okay,
There's
that's
so
what
many
I
There have
meant.
been
stories.
different videos. There was a woman even. There was a woman who straight up refused to. She had a camera on, refused to tell them her name until they took out their phone and took a picture of her face, and
Yeah.
then they walked away. Like
Okay.
literally, but
Facial
she refused.
recognition,
Yes, she
illegal
refused
facial
to speak
recognition
to them.
software.
They
Yeah.
didn't know who she was. All
Yeah.
they knew was they saw her and they assumed she was.
She looked illegal.
She looks
so
a
this
certain-
is basically
Yeah.
profiling.
Yes, they are. Yeah,
And
of
the
course.
unfortunate part, the Supreme Court has given them permission to basically profile people.
Okay.
Covenant stops. That's
Yeah.
what they're called.
Okay.
So
Covenant stops.
So then in
I've
this
been away
case,
from this mess.
yeah.
So Kavanaugh.
Take a deep breath,
So
my friend.
Kavanaugh.
Because I'm getting shocked right
yeah.
now.
No,
Don't be
So,
shocked.
so Kavanaugh himself, in a ruling, and the lawyer is here to confirm.
the Supreme Court
Supreme Court
Justice.
Justice.
Yeah.
No, Bill, he's one of those guys.
Yeah.
Said that in the ruling, he said, you know what, people can be stopped because your accent, if you look different, if you're brown.
Oh.
Yes, they are called Kavanaugh stops,
Okay. All
and
right.
and simply and because of if you speak different, he said, what's the problem? Just identify who you are, confirm who you are. That's it. It should not take long.
Oh, so in this case, does that mean?
And by the way,
Yeah.
she's here. Am I wrong? Kavanaugh stops.
governor.
Kavanaugh.
Yeah.
Justice Kavanaugh.
The Supreme Court
The
Justice.
Supreme Court Justice.
Yeah.
Oh, Kavanaugh. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I know.
Yes.
He's from Nairobi
Yeah,
School. I
you see,
told you.
that's the accent guy.
Yeah,
that's the one they'll
it's a
be
school.
picking up.
It's a school.
Wow.
That's the school he went to.
That's
It's a sc- it's a
that's the
school he
one
went-
they'll be
We
picking
had to
up.
translate for you, but that's okay.
That's the average guy.
That's the average guy.
That's
we're
the
telling you
average guy
about.
from Baltimore who
So
they'll
do
be
you- do you
picking up with
expect
his
him to
accent.
distinguish between a judicial and an administrative warrant.
Administrative warrant.
But anyway, let's go to
He
Justice
wouldn't
Kavanaugh.
know.
It's okay, it's okay.
He wouldn't know.
Yeah.
So,
Let's go to Justice Kavanaugh.
You know who the Nairobi governor is and where he's from.
Kavanaugh.
Carry on.
so basically, there was a case that
Yeah.
that brought up to the Supreme Court to ask them to make a decision on whether or not they can stop someone for any reason.
Yeah.
And the Supreme Court basically came out with a decision that said they can. So basically, it's just, they may still. I'm not sure if it was done on the merits of the case, but for now, you can just stop somebody because
Yeah.
they're black, because they're
Oh, yeah,
black-looking.
you're Latino.
You look
Your
foreign.
accent,
Yeah.
you speak different.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
They're called
yeah.
is
it's
it
not
Kavanaugh?
Kavanaugh.
It's
I said
not-
Kavanaugh.
Teach
But
him,
No,
teach
that's
him.
not
no.
the name, though.
You
That's
said
not-
you
No,
said
no, they're
you
called
said
Kavanaugh
governor.
stops.
You said governor.
Kavanaugh
He sounded
stops.
like you were saying governor.
I know.
That's how he sounded.
But nobody calls it a
Kavanaugh.
Cover.
Yeah.
That's
That-
not-
that-
that's
that's
not
They are
name.
called the
The
Kavanaugh
school-
stops.
the school
Google
that he went
Kavanaugh
to.
stops.
Who,
No,
who
Nice,
calls it that?
Yeah.
What's his name? The Supreme Court Justice. What's his
I
name?
know, but who calls
Well, no,
it
no.
that?
They call Kavanaugh stops.
Who calls it
Wikipedia that.
Okay.
Oh
Okay.
no, my friend, it's the accent you're using. It's
that?
very.
No, it's not not that. It's just who named it? Was it the media that named it, or just some people wanted to name it Kavanaugh?
Wikipedia.
You know what?
He quoted Wikipedia.
No.
Yeah.
It's Wikipedia.
Okay.
It's where, but also
It's-
everyone, even journalists and media houses,
Yeah.
they call it Kavanaugh stocks.
But it's good because I think a lot of people
They don't know that.
actually don't know that.
No, they don't know that.
A lot of people don't
I'm telling
know
you,
that.
and this is coming
Yeah.
from the Supreme Court. He said,
Okay.
you know what? It doesn't matter.
My point is, it's not a legal term.
Yeah.
Maybe people are calling it that because maybe he may have written the decision.
Yeah.
And maybe that's why people call it that. But I've never heard it be called Kavanaugh stops.
Yeah.
Maybe somebody came up with it. Maybe the media did it. I don't know.
Okay.
Somebody decided to say it.
All right. The number to call is 202-683.
Not a legal term, people. Please be careful with that.
It's not a legal term. However,
It's a
Okay.
it's what is used.
Yes. Okay.
Because to justify, I mean, like, technically, this is coming from the Supreme Court.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. So the number to call is 202-683-4570. Press star 5 to speak. We have immigration attorney Fatmata Barrie in studio.
not
We're
me.
talking immigration. We're talking all the different things that are happening. There's a lot of misinformation going around. And we're also just talking about how to protect yourself in case ICE stops you. A lot of comments are coming in here. Adhiambo Odak here. Before I go to Adhiambo's comment, I can see people have coming in on YouTube. Hosilando says in here like, "Wow, karibu sana Hosilando." And then Jerry says even at the airport. Then I have Washik karibu sana. Look at you spewing knowledge. And then Washik anamwambia OneMic accent mzito. Accent mzito means heavy accent. And then Hosi says,
And I'm locked in like that.
Hosi says Kavanaugh stops and now he's trying to walk it back. Again, the number to call is 202-683-4570. Press star 5 to speak. And then this is saying, hello Fatmata, thank you for sharing the tools to help us navigate this madness. Could you kindly speak on two things? Is it advisable to apply for citizenship on behalf of our elderly, disabled parents, family who may not necessarily contribute to the white preferred economy? And number two, for those who are in the process of getting their green card and had the 540 days extension, what is the way forward? I had this extension was no longer applicable. Please advise. Wow, some very deep questions coming in.
This sounds like this needs to pay us so that we can relay the message.
Yes,
Yeah.
this we're
Yeah.
sending you. We're sending you
I think,
the Zelle.
there needs to be a bill somewhere there.
Yes, we're gonna send the Zelle. The Zelle. What's the
OneMic Show at gmail.com.
So this OneMic@gmail.com.
ONEMIC
Yeah,
show
it is
at
okay.
gmail.com.
Fatmata.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. All right. Yeah. Let's go. This.
Okay.
You can't come here after 2 years and then just try to.
And then she's playing with our money.
By the way,
Yeah.
Imagine.
Where?
Yeah.
And she's not contributed again. And in fact, we need to charge her
right
as she's
here.
coming outside.
I am right
Oh,
here.
sorry.
Okay,
sorry.
Fatmata.
Okay.
Fatmata, these questions that this ask
We ain't
citizenship
scared.
on behalf of elderly,
Well,
disabled
yeah.
parents, and the process for the green card, the 540 days.
I've never heard of it. Wow.
Process for the green card.
Yeah, so she's saying for those who are in the process of getting their green card and had the 540 days in quotes extension, what is the way forward? This maybe tell us what that 540-day extension is about. She says I had the extension was no longer applicable. Please advise. Mike, check it out on Google, but you can start with the one on the parents. Is it advisable to apply for citizenship on behalf of elderly, disabled parents who may not necessarily contribute to the white preferred economy?
Oh, well, I mean, you can file for citizenship as long as you've had your green card for 5 years or more. And you're not one of the nations right now that's basically banned from adjustment of status. Right?
Okay.
So at least half of the of the African continent is banned from not just visas coming into the country, but also from adjusting their status, even if they have a path.
So you mean like from visitor visa to marriage visa?
Yes.
Okay.
So is that part of the immigration?
The executive
emigrating-
order.
That executive order had
Yes.
something like 70 countries or something that with the
And
if you
yes.
to immigrate, not to visit but to immigrate. Basically, you're marrying
All of
somebody.
it.
You're coming here to
All
live.
of it. Right now, there are about half of the African continent is banned from entering the U.S. And for those who are already here, they are basically banned from adjusting their status. So you can apply, but nothing will happen. I had a client who his appointment was set to be interviewed. They've done everything. They've done they've done the fingerprint. Everything is done.
Yeah.
And then he got a notification like a day or two before the interview to tell him it's been canceled until further notice, basically. And then others who have gone in to be sworn in for citizenship, they've already filed, they've done everything, they've done the background check, and they literally canceled their swearing in. And some were actually already there, and they pulled them out of the line from doing their swearing in.
This happened in Philadelphia too.
This is happening right now, and majority of these nations are Muslim and African countries.
Now,
So this 540,
So it's the
yeah.
So people get confused. A work permit is just a work permit. That's what she's asking about.
Yeah.
A work permit is just a work permit. It has the correlation between a work permit and a green card they're not necessarily hand in hand. Okay, so it used to be you may get an automatic extension of your work permit, and they've cut that off. So
that extension.
Right.
Oh,
Okay,
that
that's
extension.
what that is.
That's what's been
There's
cut
no
off.
Okay.
So-
it's not automatic anymore.
Okay, you have to apply for the extension.
Correct.
Okay.
So there's no automatic extension of
So-
your work permit.
so that 540 that Aziz was asking about is the USCIS provides an automatic extension for employment
Yes, that's our
authorization
part.
documents
The work
Yeah, the
permit.
for up to
The work
540 days
That's the
for
work permit.
certain renewal applicants.
That's
For
gone.
certain. Also, that's gone.
That's gone.
Yeah.
So you have to apply,
There's
and it's not a
there's
guarantee that they'll extend it.
Correct.
Huh.
Okay. All right. So yeah. So already a lot of information coming down now, and for the adjustment of status, you know, it's kind of like adjusting is like you have a student visa, and then you get married, and you're trying to adjust from student visa
Correct.
to a green card.
Correct.
So
I-495,
that's where some
yeah.
countries are. So a lot of African countries
Yeah.
have been stopped from doing that, because I remember seeing that map. And for some reason, Kenya survived. All the countries surrounding Kenya. I remember, you know,
Ali, you're
Tanzania.
asking why Kenya survived.
Yeah.
What was launched this week in Kenya?
Well, you know, like
And they broke ground
oh,
this week in Kenya.
What was it?
The extension of which base?
Oh.
Oh, I missed
Okay.
that one.
Mandla, the Mandla thing. They just
Manda
yes.
Bay.
Manda Bay.
Yes, Manda Bay. Yes.
Ah, okay.
They just
Manda Bay is becoming a full base. That is what they have always been chasing.
Okay.
boss bana. Umekwa Ali.
No,
this
that one-
week
that one I
you have
missed,
been.
yeah.
Were you in the snow?
Yeah, no.
I think we have to check on. We'll check on you after this.
No, Ramadan is coming up, so I'm prepared.
But Ramadan is 2 days away.
But I'm
Ali, there's no
preparing.
preparation. It's here.
I'm preparing.
It's here.
I'm
If-
preparing.
Ask
yeah.
Fatmata.
I
Fatmata is ready. I don't know about you.
I have a,
Do you know?
Yeah.
Do you
I have
know?
a
Do
joke
you guys
about
know
that.
that?
Yeah.
You guys know that when remember when Kenyans were happy when Trump won, and they say that that's good because all the deals that Ruto has signed with Biden are going to be revoked, right? But then the funny thing is that all the deals that Ruto signed with Biden were clearly rubber stamped to remain, and he was given more.
Okay. All right. So now consequences. We're learning about consequences. Ruth, you had something you wanted to add.
Yeah, well, I will still make this joke later about, never mind, later. But I think one thing I am learning is there are still Kenyans who are deeply Trump supporters. And it's been really hard to reconcile that.
And they love him.
Why?
And they love him.
Yeah.
They think he's doing the best.
Kenyans
And
in
that-
Kenya or Kenyans
Oh,
here?
here and in Kenya.
Yeah.
Here and in Kenya. I've met both. And that's been interesting to reconcile.
Yeah.
In the sense that...
And Trump supporters, you're free to call. The number to call is 202-683.
Okay.
No, they will.
4570 press star
They might. Oh,
520.
no, I forwarded links.
They,
They might.
they
They
never
will not.
call.
Okay.
You know,
No,
the funny thing
Because
is
of
this.
Epstein.
They did when he won. Remember when
The
he
funny
won?
thing,
Hey,
the
they all
funny
called.
thing is this.
But, guys,
Hold on, Mika.
I need you guys to know there are people who think he is the second coming of Christ.
Okay.
Hey.
FYI.
And the funny thing is that's not a problem. Like it's okay to support him. You guys go and support those guys who support him and who see that he is okay. That's fine. All we say is this: remember, at the end of the day, when it turns around and bites you. That is where you continue saying, thank you, Almighty Ruler, King of Kings. I take it and I accept it. Because the thing is, most of his supporters usually are happy when it's not them until it
gets to them.
Like the Cubanos. I will
because
vote
of, yep.
por Donald Trump.
Okay. All right. So
You don't even have to go to the Cubanos. Let's ask the farmers.
Okay. Fatmata.
Just very quickly.
Yes.
And I have been drafting this thing forever, and I really need to get over myself and just publish it. For people to understand everything that's happening right now with this administration, it's not about anything other than white supremacy.
Project 2025.
And we need to understand that at the end of the day, this presidency is about taking back the control that they believe they have lost and holding on to the power that they believe they deserve and should be having. You can clearly see, even with this new bill that they just passed in the House, Save the Vote Act.
Yeah.
When you look at that bill, it literally disenfranchises everyone except white men.
True.
It disenfranchises everyone except white men. Women, black, white, whatever you are,
Women are in trouble.
you are reliant on your husband. If you have a married name, your birth certificate is not reflective of that, you cannot vote.
Excuse me?
Yes.
When did it
The
pass?
bill just passed
it-
the House.
It passed the
It
House,
passed
So it
the
has to
House.
go
then it's
through
going
the
to the
Senate.
It
Senate.
has to get
Yeah.
through the
Oh
Senate.
my word, I hope
Yeah.
they save
But
us.
but listen,
Really?
y'all. At the end of the day,
It ain't happening,
I've
shorty.
told people all this that they're doing with immigrants is not. We are collateral damage. The final goal, and I've said it before and I'll say it here. The final goal is, in my humble opinion, is to get ahead of the one group of people besides Native Americans in this country who own this land. Besides them, the only other people who have probably equal rights to this nation besides white America is black America. And if you can get ahead and try to cut them off at the knees and make it so that we go back in time when they didn't have any rights, you have it. It's not going to happen, but the goal is to get America to where it was before the civil rights, when they were still bombing black communities and nothing happened, when they were still raiding black communities and nothing happened, when they were killing allies like they did in Minnesota, those two white people, that man and that woman, and with impunity, the amount of white people who were killed during those times of fighting for rights in this country, you don't really see those conversations happening, because that's why you see they don't want to tell history for what it really was. And at the end of the day, if we become immune or we don't have the urgency of now, what they're trying to do when they say make America great again is really take us to a time before all of us
Make
have the
America
rights.
white again. Yeah.
There you go. So at the end of the day, we have to understand what's happening. And we're Muslim.
Yes.
We know what our faith and what it promotes. Most faiths, most of the Abrahamic faiths have the same sort of, but I tell people, have a wider view
Yeah.
than the immediate. This man and his cohorts have one purpose and one purpose only: to enrich themselves and make this country for rich white men.
Yeah.
That's it.
And I think with what you said, and not to digress from the topic, but I think with what you said, it is very important that within the Muslim community, because there was a very big challenge, like that there was division. I think the people who were pushing people to vote for Donald Trump within the community, they need to be held accountable.
Were there people that vote? Because what I got,
Yes.
I didn't see.
So
people
towards the end,
for them to vote for Donald
so
Trump.
this is what happened at some point because of what was happening in Gaza. Because of what was happening in Gaza, people were against Biden, and that's understandable. So the initial talk was, let's go vote for a neutral candidate, Jill Stein.
Correct.
And to me, I was like, someone chooses that's okay. But towards the end, there started being this group of people, especially in Michigan, who are pushing, and even that imam who went and stood with Donald
had a
Trump.
press conference, yes.
In a rally. These people need to be held
Yeah.
accountable by the community in the sense that they should never ever guide people politically. Like one area, American Muslims, it's very interesting, but I think one area where we need to improve is also understanding politics. And there was someone, I can't remember who it was, who once said is the biggest mistake, especially the immigrant communities made, especially the South Asian, the Arabs, when they came here as Muslims, they did not ally with the Black American Muslims, who are the people who are most experienced in the US with fighting injustice. They did not ally with them. And that's one of the biggest mistake that was made. And I think corrections are trying to be made right now. But that's just one thing that that really bothered me.
Let me add to that.
Yeah.
Ali shared with us about one of my favorite educators called Yasir Ka.
He's going to be in Maryland next week, by the way. I'll give
And
you details.
He was talking about Islam and Muslims and how initially, even before, during slavery, that there were Muslims already here.
Yes.
And I know probably many people don't know that.
Yeah.
But one
So,
mic.
Wacha no Mike amalize alafu utaingia Mika.
so I think it is important even for people want to listen, if they can go and listen to that education
Yeah.
and to understand that even there's an island somewhere in Georgia that has been set
Sapelo.
aside,
Yeah.
that specifically the origin was for this guy. He decided to have Muslims in there because of a certain way that they conducted, they did their things and whatever. And when you have individuals like Valentina Gomez, or when you have that other,
For those who don't know who Valentina
Gomez was trying to run for a Senate seat or a seat in somewhere, I think in Texas.
Yeah.
And she was actually
burning Qurans.
She was burning, she takes a blowtorch
On
and burns the
video.
Quran on video.
Yeah.
And okay, right now she's under investigation by immigration. Then there's another idiot by the name of Meghan Kelly. So
that we're familiar with.
yeah. So the idea is, I think there's so much. Sometimes history is so important, where we need to learn a whole lot. Like, we need to unlearn what we know, so that whatever is presented, we don't need Muslims here, whatever, it is America. But come to find out that sometimes even before those white guys, even those white guys who arrived here, there were some Muslims who came and they set up their own.
Yeah, and what Yasir Kadhi was saying, when you look at just the places where slaves were picked up in Africa,
Yes.
these are places that some of them are 99% Muslim, some of them are 50%
Yes.
Muslim.
He actually mentions those places, yeah.
Estimates show that it could have been, as low as a third to as many as 50% of the slaves who were brought here
Were Muslim.
were Muslims.
Yes.
Yeah. So again, Mika, you had something to say before
Mika.
we get back to the topic. Mika.
Oh yeah, the one thing that I want to say, and that was, and I think you mentioned it there. In terms of what I wanted to say was like you do have to realize that where majority of the slaves came from were from
West Africa.
Muslim heavy regions, and also one thing that most people don't tend to realize is that the Native Americans were already trading with Africans, and they were trading with also people from the Eastern Hemisphere. That is why you find in places like the Caribbean, you'll find some Chinese, and you find they have Indian influence. Not Indian, this Indian, but Indian, the Indian from
Yeah.
India. They have that influence. They have that influence into their culture. So school book history might teach you that Christopher Columbus discovered this country, but Christopher Columbus managed to stumble on a place where people are living. And also on the voting issue, Ali, the one where you're saying about what made people vote, for me, I just think it's simple. Old school patriarchy.
Yes.
And you know, most people, when they hear patriarchy, they usually think that patriarchy just comes from men. There are women who are so influenced by patriarchy that their decision moved into that. It was just people didn't want a woman president. And most people could easily look for fault, but it was just a mere fact that she was a woman.
Okay, all right. Very, very interesting perspective from Mika. Now, Mika, you know, like on that note of Christopher Columbus, I want guys, you know, like later on, go Google who Mansa Abubakar is. He's Mansa Musa's older brother. He came hundreds of years before Columbus to the U.S. So
you might need to tell Ruth who Mansa Musa is first.
To start with, yeah, because
I'm a poter.
I think sometimes when you're telling the
History.
stories,
so yes.
Give some context to the first person you're referring
So Mansa Musa was one of the richest people in history. He was the emperor of the Malian Empire. Back in those days, he's very famous. You know, like when he would go for Hijrah with his camels in a caravan, he would leave so much gold in every place that he passed by that it would actually alter the economy of the places where he passed by. He's considered one of the richest people ever. You know, like when we calculate by today's dollars, richer than Bill Gates, richer than Elon Musk, richer than most of these people. So Mansa Musa is, is a very well-known historical figure, you know, like in Africa. And Mansa Abubakar is the older brother who had a voyage of, I think, about 2,000 people that came to the Americas. I think when they were when they came back, something happened to it, but there's evidence, you know, until today in the Americas of the places where they went. And this was well before Columbus set foot in the Americas. But that's a topic for another day.
But it was not white.
Yes, let's go. Let's go to travel.
Ruth, it has nothing to do with the reggae song, okay? Just focus.
Yes.
What do you think I said?
You're focusing on Christopher Columbus and the reggae song. Just focus.
Yeah. So let me first read a few comments here that were coming in while we were still talking. This says, it's not just Kenyans. Our West African church ingrained family is deep into Trump and Israel. Not
that
funny?
Is true, yes.
And then Washeke says, we see the erosion of civil rights in action, the repeal of Roe versus Wade, affirmative action, voting rights, etc. And then also Washeke Father says, it's not just Muslim community, but in the African immigrant community, there was a huge support from this demographic, and now we are all paying for the consequences. So that's what's been happening. Now let's move to travel. There's a lot of fear when it comes to traveling, and we've already been talking about CBP and what they do. If I'm a green card holder, or let's say I have a valid student's visa, should I be in fear of traveling?
No. I mean, travel.
No, legally, no, but practically with what's happening, we know the law is not being followed.
I mean, there are many people right now who are traveling with green cards going in and out of the country.
Okay.
Consistently.
So not to worry if you have a green card.
But
so I would say this: don't stop your travels. However, if you know that you have a criminal charge, for instance, say you have a felony, that could trigger when you're coming back in as to whether they will stop
So
you.
define a felony, because we've seen stories. We have, and not.
And
You
it
read.
doesn't, and it
You
doesn't
read.
matter
You,
how long it's been. So even if it's been 20 years and you have renewed your green card twice since that happened, it's still there, and they can still stop you.
no, that's fine.
Okay.
No. I mean, you hear somebody. So when you write a bad check, it's a felony.
Correct.
That's a felony, yes.
If you charge with the DUI, is that a felony?
Okay, here's the thing. Every state is different.
Okay.
The beauty of America is it's different countries in one. I'm going by how we are. So it's these little baby countries that make up the United States of America.
Right.
And each one has their own laws, especially when it comes to criminal law and, civil, those basic things. So, for example, a drug charge in Virginia of a little, whatchamacallit,
Mary Jane.
maybe a felony. You cross the border to Maryland, it may just be a misdemeanor.
Okay.
Okay.
Do
Can
you
you give a
understand?
difference? Well, just for the listeners, what's the difference between a misdemeanor and a felony?
Well, a felony usually carries a
jail
sentence
term.
of 1 year or more. Usually a misdemeanor less, and it could be it could just be even charge money or whatnot,
Fines.
restitution.
And a
things like
felony
that.
isn't felony a federal thing?
Not necessarily, no.
Not necessarily.
Yeah, and someone
Okay.
here is saying
No.
several Kenyans were deported for domestic violence. So is domestic violence, is it considered a felony?
Yes.
Okay.
You,
All right.
You literally hit and beat somebody.
Assault.
Okay.
It's
All
a-
right.
right.
Yeah.
So,
So
yeah.
so for those
Yeah.
who engage in that behavior,
You
So-
lay your
be
hand
aware
on-
of that.
You lay your hand on somebody,
Yeah.
you have committed.
So even a bar fight.
Yes.
That's assault. Basically, it's assault.
It's
you
assault.
you
Yeah.
So I'm not
Wow.
a criminal law attorney, so don't quote me on any of this stuff. I'm an immigration law attorney.
Okay.
Criminal law is a different forte.
Yeah.
But if somebody comes to me with their paperwork, and on that paperwork it says felony 1, felony whatever, then I can advise you. But it has to say, it won't just say I broke into our house. I cannot really advise you because I don't know
Yeah, the details
what
of
that
yeah.
entails and what decision was made by the court about that particular offense. Because I'm not a criminal law attorney. I can only talk to you about immigration and which charges and what they carry, like what sentence or what like if it's a year or more, I can tell you what could happen if you're a green card holder.
Okay.
But I cannot look at your thing and see where it says she bumped somebody.
Okay.
I can't tell you if that's going to impact your immigration or not.
Yeah.
Now, if
Okay.
it says he bumped somebody and then next to it says misdemeanor to whatever, then I can say, okay, this is what it could do. So I can't tell you which is which.
Okay, and we have a caller. Before we get to the caller, again, the number to call is 202-683-4570. Press star 5 to speak. This is your opportunity to ask questions. These questions that you're
Again,
going to be asking, people
these are
pay
for
a
you
lot of
guys.
money. People pay a lot of money to get these questions answered. So this is your opportunity. 202-683-4570. Press star 5 to speak. And Mwai was asking, so which is the best point of entry if all are different? Is there any such thing as the best point of the best?
Or
port
she
of-
means
she means port of
Okay.
entry.
Okay,
Oh,
port.
port of-
Yeah, she
port
means
of
Port
yeah,
of
which
entry.
is the best port of
Port
entry.
of entry.
Yeah.
I cannot give you that. I'm sorry.
She better not
Okay.
go to New York. Those
Okay.
people look at you like you're a criminal anyway.
Or
Well,
Detroit.
Well, there's
Okay.
no such thing as the best point, the best port of entry. So let's go to the caller on the mic.
2658. Thank you for calling the OneMic Show. Name and where you're calling from.
Welcome to the OneMic Show.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, please tell us your name and where you're
Be
calling from.
louder,
Yeah,
at
she
least.
sounds like she's under the pillow. Is she hiding today?
This is Esther Muluka calling from North Carolina, the dirty South.
All right, Esther, talk to us.
Yes, I just want to take you back to ICE.
Mm-hmm.
ICE is, you can never be too ready for ICE because this is a unit that is exposing itself, to us. And it's hiring people. Talk has it that ICE is hiring people just straight off the street, too fast. And they say that most of these people are ex-Iraq and ex-Afghanistan. And we know that some of these people sometimes suffer from PTSD. But apart from that, they come from a war zone. They've been trained to deal with, military, environments. So most of them come and their training is different from the regular police. So, like I said, nobody has taught people how to, most black people teach their boys how to handle the police. You see the police, be obedient, do ABCD. But ICE is a new phenomenon. So the war trains you for dominance. You have to dominate the enemy. And the next thing you do after you dominate the enemy is to eliminate that threat. And that is what we saw when they killed these two people. I don't remember the name of the man and the woman, They
Pretty
look at
and
subject as threat, yes. So it's all about
Really
rapid escalation, They escalate everything, and it's all about preempting force. And that can be very, very tragic. This is good for the battleground, but it's not right for regular
Streets.
human beings,
Yeah.
So police, at least the police have a little bit of restraint because police have these body cams, right? They know there is, there's the body cam that brings a little bit of accountability. And also the police also act according to the law. Of course, they go sometimes overboard, but at least they are guided by something. So you can never be too ready. Like Esther, when they accost me, I know I'm not guilty, and I'll try to defend myself. I will respond in a manner like, hey, I'm this and that, I have my naturalization, and they're not trained to listen to that, you understand? They look at you like you are a threat, somebody that should be dominated, somebody that should be eliminated.
So, Esther, are you seeing any ICE activity in North Carolina?
Yes, I've heard about. I heard about them in the biggest city, which is Charlotte. Charlotte is on the border of South Carolina and North Carolina, so there was a big presence of. We heard about it, and they did a big operation in Charlotte, and then they did one in North Carolina. And because I'm a member of these neighborhood watches, and we tell each other what's happening in the neighborhood, and they are like, oh, they are near a battleground. And, they just camp somewhere and they capture people. And, I am a stubborn person. And if somebody accosts me, I will resist. Because that's a natural thing to do. Like, hey, I haven't done anything wrong. But these people are trained to subdue you because they are from a war zone. And some of them suffer from PTSD. I have students who've been to battlegrounds. They are ex-young men. They've been to Afghanistan or wherever they are taken to, and they come back with these issues. So there's a problem about whoever they are recruiting real quick, because for you to be recruited real quick, it means there's nothing you're doing right. So maybe you have not even been rehabilitated well into society. Those are the ICE people. They have masks, then they have been given the go-ahead to do whatever they want, and there is no repercussion. So you can imagine all these things put together. So I just wanted to make an observation about you can never be too ready for these people. So I think you should be obedient and just let them do whatever they want because they are trained to
subdue.
To subdue.
Okay.
Very easy, because they've done that to these two people. Because I remember I kind of like standing up for myself. And I remember one time I was crossing I was going to D.C. I was driving to D.C. from North Carolina, and when you cross into Virginia, the police, I don't know, they are kind of on your case if they see the North Carolina number plate. And I was speeding. I had this car that when you speed, you don't even realize. And I remember the police stopping me, and I still have the Kenyan in me. When you're stopped by the police in Kenya, you step out and put your hands akimbo. And my friend told me, hey, you're going to get shot. Sit down. Put your
Okay.
hands on the steering wheel and remain calm. But I had the Kenyan in me, you understand. Open the door and put my hands akimbo, like, what do you want? So we have to have another training as people of color, how to deal with ICE, because it's different from the police. So
Okay.
that's one thing I wanted to know. And then one thing I just want to mention before I leave is like about people, black people who defend Trump, who support Trump. A lot of African men are misogynistic in nature, or by training, or by socialization, and they think Trump is okay. They think he's a good person. There was somebody who was supposed to be close to me, and he supported Trump over the, what was her name?
Kamala. Yeah.
Harris.
Yeah.
Yeah, as a man, he's like, I don't trust that woman. That's what he said to me. I was like, are you kidding me? And then later on, he came and apologized to me. He said, Esther, you are right, But there's that misogynistic training, the way we train our boys to think that somebody like Trump is okay. Somebody like Kirk, his name was Kirk, right? The late
Charlie Kirk.
Yeah, a lot of African people used to follow him and just believe in him, And some of them still think whatever the things he used to say, no matter how anti-black, anti-colored people
And
they
that's an
were,
issue,
they will
by the
still
way.
support him. So we have a problem in Africa. A lot of Nigerians. I know some African-American men. One of my former bosses used to support Trump.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
All right.
Because they would rather have that than support a woman. So let me stop there.
Okay.
That's just it.
Thank you
Thank
so
you.
much.
Thank
Thank
you,
you so
Esther.
much, Esther. And I know you said we have another, is it 2 callers?
No, we have one more call.
We have one more caller.
Yes.
So caller, wait, I want to surprise Fatmata a bit. There was a memorial for Charlie Kirk in Kenya. I know maybe you're not privy to this news.
Why would you
Yeah.
tell her that?
Yeah, there was a whole memorial
Bro.
for Charlie Kirk in Kenya. That's how bad, and it was done in a church. Yeah, of all places. Again, the number to call is
Although you
202.
can't fault the church.
683.
683.
Eh?
You cannot fault the church.
You can't fault the church
because they
Yeah.
do give the space for people
Yeah.
to use.
Yeah,
So.
you can't fault the church, yeah, but there was a memorial for
But you
Charlie
can
Kirk.
fault the Catholic, no?
And Charlie
We're not
Kirk
gonna allow this.
did indeed have a lot of supporters in Kenya. So this is a problem that I think we need to have another episode to figure out how it's going to be solved.
If
Esther
Fatmata is
Mewambia,
done with this stuff.
She doesn't even want to
you
know
know,
about. She was about to go to
like-
Kenya.
Yeah.
You see how she's look at the way she's even.
no,
rethinking.
but it's just a few Kenyans, see Wengi, but already Esther has already said that all you guys, most African men are misogynistic. I don't know whether I will agree with
you
that.
need to retrain.
Yeah.
You need to retrain yourself and your thoughts.
Yeah, I don't know whether I will agree with that, but yeah,
You're on video.
Let's go.
All right.
A major part of the problem
Yeah.
is that they've weaponized faith.
Correct.
Yes,
Okay.
That yes,
100%.
Yeah.
that's
They
what
have-
it underlines.
They
Faith.
have weaponized faith.
Yeah.
The
Yes.
thing that is so divine, the thing that is so special, they
Yeah.
have weaponized
Totally
faith
weaponized, yes.
and have co-opted faith to the point to where people seem to not be able to
To reason.
and discern and use the discernment that God has given us.
Correct.
And all they need is to hear that I'm saying this with faith, and that's enough.
Yeah.
Despite what the person is actually doing, for whatever reason, they have co-opted faith and they're weaponizing it against the people themselves. Because the reality is, nothing that Charlie Kirk said or did benefited or was positive of anyone that looks like you and me. Not one time. You just have to listen to him. Just because he starts with God and ends with God, everything in between is not godly. But it's like it doesn't matter. There's this, and I'm not sure there's any cure.
You know what the consequence of that? Millennials and Gen Z are leaving the church in droves.
They're leaving, you
They're
said?
leaving
Hmm.
in droves.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what are they doing alternatively? What's their base?
No, they're
What are
like-
they using as their that that
The
thing
third
that
place?
that
No.
guides you? You know.
They're choosing. They what one of the things that they're saying is how we were taught to believe is no longer how they're practicing. So it's like the people who taught us our faith is supposed to be are not practicing it. So we will leave them to it, we'll go practice it the way we know. Yeah.
But also
Interesting.
remember, before we take up this call, remember, if you guys remember, was it during 2020, the elections? The evangelicals. Oh, sorry, the evangelicals.
Oh, please. That's why I said
How
that
they were praying and speaking in tongues. You remember, like Paula White. So there's a
Let's check the caller,
hold
please.
on. There's a
Paula
ban.
White is
There's a
just-
ban on Africans.
Yeah.
There's a ban of people, from the continent.
It was spirits.
But
Coming
she was praying for spirits to come in and do what? And overturn the election. Anyway, 0934. Thank you for calling the OneMic Show. Name and where you're calling from.
Welcome to the OneMic Show.
Hey, Kaze, how are you, Mike? Ayo.
Hello.
Yeah. Tell us your name and where you're calling
Yeah.
from first.
This is a guy from Jazzy, I think.
This is Paul Cheg. I'm calling from Texas.
Oh, okay.
Okay, Paul, check
Karibu.
it. Talk to us.
Yeah, Texas always represents.
Texas always represents. Paul, check it. Talk to us.
So the thing is that most people don't understand is that number one thing, if an ICE agent stops you, what you need to understand is this is a person who has the right to stop you, number one. Number two, what people are not getting and what most people, if you're trained like I was, I've been in the military in Kenya, I've worked for the U.S. government in Afghanistan and Iraq, and I'll tell you for sure, anybody who has carried a weapon legally and has been trained, we know for sure the number one thing that you're not supposed to do or harm is women and children. That is even something you can look up on the Geneva laws of war or convention. It's something that is there. Women and children should never be casualties of war or any kind of mishandling. These guys are not trained. I'll tell you for sure. From the aspect of people who have been trained, and I've talked to a couple of individuals, these guys are not trained. Because anybody who's trained, the way they approached the lady in Minnesota and the way they approached the guy, the moment your 5 guys, all of you are armed, and yet the guy is pinned on the ground and he still gets shot while he's on the ground. That is not that something happens with people who have been trained. People who have been trained do not do that. These people probably, whoever they are and where they are being picked from, do not have the proper, correct training. Even the worst kind of uniformed training for armed forces in the entire world would not take less than minimum 6 weeks. They're getting these people into this entire organization so quickly, so fast, that they are foregoing some of the minimal bare standards of training.
So Paul,
On
check
the
it.
case of-
Paul, from what I read, ICE typically would train their agents for at least 5 months before they're sent out
Yes.
On the field.
But these ones, they are going
Yes.
through a crash course. They were going through a crash course. I don't know how long it was, but I think it was less than. It could have been less than a month. And you're thrown out in the field. That's why I think out of fear or out of that lack of training, they would quickly pull a trigger. And it's very good that we have a trained person, who is now telling us from the observation that he's made that these people do not look like they're trained. So Paul, what would you, now knowing what you know, how would you tell someone to approach if they're being approached by such people? What's their best case scenario?
Ali, let me
these are
plug in
trained
something there real
Yeah,
quick.
go ahead, Mika, and then we'll go to
so
Paul.
as of now,
So the best
as of now, they're being trained for 8 weeks.
Or it's 8
Before,
weeks.
yes, 8 weeks, which consists of 48 training days. And then beforehand, they were being trained for 22 weeks. Then when this administration came, it was reduced to 16. Then when they needed to bring in guys, they reduced it to 8, and they reduced the minimum passing mean score so that they could be able to get, because most of these guys are just guys who sit down and were signing up for that signing bonus, and they hate other people.
So
Paul.
yes.
Yes, you had something that you wanted to
About-
add. Yeah.
Yeah, what I was saying is even the way things are going right now, even if you're approached by such individuals, the most important thing is to have everything on video. Number one. If it's not possible to have on video, have somebody on call. Record the entire conversation. From the moment they stop you, and if it's possible, be on speed dial with 911, because police officers will not. I've seen arrests of people here in America, and I can tell you for sure, if you're being arrested lawfully, there are things and there's ways that they approach the entire arrest. From the moment they approach you, they tell you this is why they've stopped you, this is what you require, you need to show them this and this. These guys are not doing that. They ask you for, just because you look you're a person of color, they've already been made, you become a target by how you look and how you talk. Even the Somali guy who was videoing in Minnesota at the airport.
All right.
He was an Uber driver.
Yeah, the
just
Uber
because
lot, yes.
Just because he looked Somali and he spoke differently, that is not. There's nowhere in the Constitution that allows for such kind of random acts. You cannot pursue a person because of how they talk or how they look.
Okay, asante sana Paul. Thank you so much. I think,
Paul.
Yeah.
Gade, asante.
All right.
Okay.
All right. Sorry about that.
Okay.
So,
All right, Miss Barrie.
So I don't want us to leave a message out there that it's lack of training, that all this is happening. The person who killed, I think it was I think it was the woman.
The lady. Yeah.
I think it was
Renee Good.
Renee Good.
Yeah, I think it was Good. This is person that has, I think, 10 years
of experience.
10 years and quite a few years. My memory is not, but quite a few years. They didn't just get here. They got a lot of the J6 people are in here doing ICE work.
J6?
January 6th.
Oh, okay.
Folks are in there.
Too many things have been happening.
I know, right?
Yeah.
Proud Boys.
Yeah.
3%ers.
So, just hateful people have joined ICE. But here's the thing. When that man shot Renee Good, when he was done, he called her the B word.
Wow.
That's hate in your heart for somebody. That's not training. You can't train that out of you. That's not training. Yeah? You have them now. When they stop someone, remember what happened to those people? Do you sure you want to try? Those are the statements. It's not training, right? It is an organization that's now doing things with impunity.
I think either Ta-Nehisi quotes, but I could be mistaken. There's someone who said, "Yani, this is the modern day KKK." Yeah.
I mean, they are literally doing. They used to have what they called slave patrols.
Yes.
Right. Where you walk around. You have to walk around with your freedom papers to prove that you're free.
Yeah, you're not a slave.
Correct. And if you don't have it with you, you can literally be picked up and put back into enslavement. You had situations where you cannot be in certain places at a certain time as a black person in this country. Okay.
Sundown
town.
Sundown town.
So there are these stories that are real, and we are living it in 2026.
And by the way, those towns still exist.
Yes. So I don't want us to have this notion that these are mishaps or mistakes by people who just need to be trained better. It's not about training. It's about being given a license to kill.
A license to kill, yeah.
You have been told you can do whatever you want. We got your back. We will protect you. They kill people and they disappear these killers. You can't even get to them. Do you understand how?
Yeah.
So this is where we are. It is a current system that has been created to clean out what they feel should not exist in this country.
Vermin.
And that would include people who look like them.
Yeah.
Why? Because just like they used to say, you are a traitor to your race. You are a traitor to your country.
And they're
How
saying that
dare you
now.
stand up for these people? Is basically what it is. When you listen to their response, and I believe honestly that when that man shot that innocent woman who was smiling and just saying, "Come on by, I'm not mad at you, man. I'm not mad." Before she was murdered, there was no malice in her. She was doing something good. She was protecting other people. That he was protecting a woman. He literally was covering her, and they pulled him off of her and shot her, shot him dead. That is not training. And I don't want us to have that out there, and people think if I just act right. Do you know how many black families tell that to their black sons, and they still get killed with their hands? Look, we have to be realistic about where we are and act accordingly. I'm not saying go jump into anything. I think the advice of putting on your phone is a good idea. Put on that video, because God forbid if anything happens to you, at least hopefully somebody will be held accountable for it. And maybe you having a camera on may do something, even though I haven't seen it, because with cameras on, they still do what they do.
They still do what they do.
Even with their own cameras, they have their phones. It's theatrics. It is a way, because they walk around with their own phones and walk around with their own cameras that they videotape and they put out. It's equivalent to what they used to do here in this country, where if they catch a black person, they will beat you out where everybody can see you. They will hang you where everybody can see you, to make sure everybody understands
that you're an example.
Don't do this.
Don't do this. Yes.
Don't do this.
Okay.
And it's a scare tactic. It's a way to sort of temper down any notion of anything. But the one thing you see in Minnesota has shown, when people rise up in this country, they rise up.
I rise up.
They rise up. When
Governor.
people rise up in this country, they rise up.
Okay. Again, the number to call is 202-683-4570. Press star 5 to speak. We have immigration attorney Fatmata Barrie in the studio, dropping a lot of wisdom and giving us perspectives that maybe we've not even sat and contemplated, reflected, and thought about. So I think that's very important to understand that, yes, maybe training might be an issue, but it's not the primary issue. You know, like there's something deeper going on in this country that we need to pay attention to.
Before you read the next,
yes.
If somebody wants to reach out to our lawyer, what's the number?
So you can, for legal services,
Yes.
you can call 240-324-8222. You can go to the website and schedule a consultation. BarrieLawCenter.com, www.BarrieLawCenter.com. I'm also, as a candidate, looking for volunteers.
Yeah.
Go to my website, FatmataBarrie.com, www.fatmatabarrie.com. Sign up to connect. Looking for donations.
So can people contribute at fatmatabarrie.com?
Everybody who is a permanent resident or U.S. citizen can donate to my campaign from anywhere in the country, but Montgomery County residents, your donations are matched by the county up to 5-1. And this message is authorized by Fatmata Barrie for Montgomery County, Maureen Wambui, treasurer.
Ati Maureen wa boy.
Maureen who?
Ati ati.
Wambui.
Hey, Maureen wa boy.
Hey, wa boy. That's
boy.
the
So,
Hey.
so for services, lawyer services, 240 324
324-8222.
8222.
Yeah.
Umesikia your number?
Just enter that information in the comments. The website fatmatabarrie.com, also enter it in the comments. People can go in right now, start contributing, especially if you're from Montgomery County.
Yeah.
Montgomery
Because she
County,
said the
you
match
say
is 5-1.
5-1.
Up to 5-1.
Ah,
So you
okay.
can donate from anywhere from $5 minimum,
Yeah.
$500 maximum per
Wow.
person. So if there's a household of 5 adults, and you want to give $100, or you want to give $500, each person should donate separately because the donations are matched per individual.
So what's the maximum per individual that's matched?
$150 per individual that's matched. But you can give up to 500. The rest of the 500 is not matched.
Okay.
But still,
but 500 is the upper limit.
It's the maximum cap. Because we're doing public matching.
Okay.
So that it makes it so that the only people donate. No businesses, no political PACs, none of that. It's just regular people donation. It's grassroots fundraising.
Okay.
And so
But I thought Citizens United decision made that anyway.
Yeah.
Never mind.
Yeah.
There's a comment over here that I want to read before we proceed.
Yeah.
Feel free to share that my cousin was deported last week. He was taken in during a traffic stop, but he also had some hidden demons that came up. Once he was arrested, including a DUI. Unfortunately for Trump supporters, including those who held his car loan, his apartment management, and second truck job owners lost businesses. And I'll leave it at that. I'm just reading the comment.
That's an anonymous comment.
There are so many things, and as we proceed, but I have a few questions because I have a few guys
now here Jay on YouTube, watu wa YouTube wamenyamaza leo kidogo, talk to us YouTube people.
They are afraid.
Jay is saying, I'm glad a lot of clarity is coming forth over the polarization and fear that has spread due to misinformation. Yes, and then again, Nancy was saying, can we talk about the attitude some of us have been showing lately? I've been seeing Kenyans on social media acting like we're the preferred African immigrants, like we're somehow better than African Americans. The mindset is disrespectful, condescending, and honestly embarrassing. That has been there with Kenyans, with some Kenyans, and even some people in the African community. So that's something that needs to be taken care of. And then Apa Washeke is saying that this is not new. It's always been associated with some African immigrants. And then Anwar is saying we are better while they are shutting white people. They need to drop that. And then Esther says, I lived in Bowie for a while. Montgomery County is a rich black county. I think. I think Esther is mixing it up. I think she means Prince George's County, PG County. Yeah, that's
Don't be Kainel.
That's a rich black county.
Don't be a Kainel.
Yeah. So number to call is 202-683-4570. Press *5 to speak, just so that because we got a bit sidetracked with good information. But there's something, Fatmata, there's something called secondary inspection. Secondary inspection.
What is that?
What is secondary inspection? Like Omosh is asking, and why are people sent to secondary
inspection? Omosh is asking what is secondary inspection.
Right. Sort of what I said earlier. They pull you back and they check you
at
out
the border.
Some more, yes, when you're coming in.
Or at the port of entry.
Yes. Every time. While I was on my green card, I went to secondary inspection.
You got that.
Every single time I traveled, they pull me out. But it's funny, when I went there, it was more like, so
why are you here?
They would ask me, why am I here? I'm like, well, they would send me here. Then I remember one guy said, like, there's nothing to why you're here. What did you bring? Like,
that was your last name.
Yes.
Was my last?
Yes, it was your last name. Yes, it's your last name. There are some names that are flags, like another guy sitting next to you.
Oh yeah,
but
between 2000, I think my traveling between 2004 and I think up to 2007. And I'm sure you are aware that's when if you had any Muslim sounding name, come here. There was a time I was even given a whole letter that you are on a no-fly list. Yes.
Oh, wow.
Yes. I was on my way to Denver, and I was given a letter. That. Yes. So I was so shocked because, and I think the people who are giving me the letter, they were equally shocked.
Yeah.
But they were still giving me the letter because I think maybe, I don't know, the pictures they had were not matching to the face. So they took me somewhere opened up my stuff, and then they allowed me. Actually, I wasn't going to Denver. I was traveling to San Francisco. I was connecting through Denver. So what they did, I did not even know there was half boarding passes.
Huh?
So they would give you a boarding pass that's been marked already, but it's only up to your connecting airport.
Gate.
So when you get
Yeah.
to your connecting airport, you now have to go back to the counter and get your
other one, yeah, the other
one
connector.
to get to the destination. Yeah. So
Wow.
so it was very interesting.
I
times.
used to have the same something similar, and anytime I traveled, especially going through DCA, they would always do the secondary check, and
Yeah.
you go through, and then they write something on your ticket, and it was something like SS or
Yeah.
something like that, and every time I saw the guy writing in red, I knew. I'm like, okay, here we go again. So after about 3 times of back to back,
Yeah.
I asked them. I said, okay, so why is it that every time that I've come through here in the last, let's say, 3 months, and I'm always being pulled up? And they told me, oh, well, it's random. I said, no, it's not random. I told them, this is not random, and I want to put in an official complaint so that you guys can stop this. And lo and behold, since then,
Yeah.
it's never happened.
Yeah, for me, I was given a 1-800
Since
number
then,
to call.
it has. I never called anybody.
Yeah.
I just told that guy, and I don't know if there's something he did. I have no clue.
For me, I was given a 1-800 number to call, and I was told, go call this number. There's some information they'll get from you, and you'll be cleared. And after I did call that 1-800 number, it automatically stopped.
Are you sure it wasn't 1-800 Muteule?
No, it wasn't. It wasn't.
That's listen,
Operator
That's a good one.
I have always said the Mteule number is not complete.
No, it's your phone. There's an issue with your phone.
Missing one
Yeah.
digit. Let me
Yeah.
read something Anne said.
Yeah.
Esther does say my bad Prince George's County. Anne says if you check in raw meat like sausages or chicken flavored food stuff like spices, you forever join second screening.
Yeah.
Thing is,
Huh?
No.
I'm not so sure about that, but like they never checked anything for me. They've never checked my bags. Zero. It was every time I came in.
So
Second
this is
screening.
how they used to do. The
Yeah.
thing was like, remember, it was TSA was a new
Agency.
federal
Agency.
agency,
Yeah.
Yeah.
right? And what they didn't like for them, our names all sound the same, right? So after 9/11, there were trigger names, but those trigger names started with certain trigger letters. That's why people with OK,
M.
M had to be stopped. Like Mohammed M's. Or
Is.
O was like with what's it, Osama or or the
Yeah.
K, Khalid. Like basically, it didn't matter as long as it was a foreign name. Doesn't sound English or American
Yeah.
or European. It was always flagged.
And then
But-
So now
Ali
that
was
is
an
where
easy flag.
when you come in, that's why the thing is this: how can you be in a no-fly zone, in a no-fly list, and they give you a letter to call and tell you?
Yes.
Basically, they're basically telling you, prove yourself, and then they remove you.
Yes.
It was a simple way of them telling you, but it was just based on your first letter
Yeah.
of the last name. Because it's foreign, it sounds foreign. That is what was putting people on those lists.
Yes. I mean, I was in total shock.
But this
Ruth.
was as recent as 2 years ago.
Oh, for you, it was 2 years
yeah,
ago.
it was 2 years ago.
Yeah.
But again, what happens in secondary screening, I think it depends on the person and what they're looking for. All of mine, I did not spend, because there's only one time I spent an hour there, but that's because there was a line in front of me.
Wow.
But then after that, it was more like I'll be there for 15 minutes. They'll call my name, and then I'll go. And all of them, they're all like, "Why did you come here?" I'm like, "Well, they told me to come here." And then it was more like,
So-
"Okay, you can go." Like, what did you bring? And I'll say what I brought. Like, okay, there was never inspection. They've never checked anything. It was more take my passport, my green card, and they'll be like, "Okay, you go." There was nothing to it.
Yeah. So Fatmata, when you go into secondary screening, like how long can they legally hold you? And if you refuse to answer their questions, can they deny you entry?
Yes. Especially if you're coming in on a visa, they can deny you entry.
Okay.
If you are a green card holder, U.S. citizen, they may delay you,
Yeah.
but usually not prevent you from coming in, especially if you're a U.S. citizen. They may delay
Okay.
and keep you there for hours.
Is there any opportunities to call a lawyer, or that's
You don't
that's not?
necessarily have a right
Yeah.
to an attorney, but you can. I mean,
Yeah, you
You
have your
can call
phone
one.
with you.
Yeah. And what should you never say or do at the airport when you're in that situation?
never sign anything they put in front of you without an attorney present or without advice for an attorney, especially if you're a green card holder.
Okay.
Never sign anything they give you.
So
Because
what do you
could-
do if they
could
give you something to sign?
say I'm not signing?
Okay.
Simple.
And they cannot, would they deny you entry based on that?
If you're not a U.S. citizen or permanent resident,
Yeah.
unless they say your green card was you've abandoned your green card, for example. So if you're a green card
But
holder and
still,
you were gone for a year,
Those are tricks.
Yeah.
you've abandoned your green card.
Yeah.
So they may detain you and say you can't come into the country, or they may give you an NTA to show up to court.
What about digital searches? Are they allowed to do that? Because we've had people, like
Your
say that their
phone.
phones were taken away. Yeah.
Again, same process, same concept. If you are a visa holder and you don't want to open your phone, they could deny you entrance. If you're a permanent resident, U.S. citizen, they may delay you, but they don't necessarily have, I don't know how to put it, right to confiscate your phone unless there's, a good reason.
What typically do they look for in a phone?
Social media, your contacts, things like that, things that could show them.
Or about
Things
you.
that show you're attacking
nowadays,
Trump.
Your ideology nowadays
Yeah.
sometimes. So there's a lot that's going on that's not normal.
So is there a way that when you're traveling, is it safe now to be careful, with what phone you're traveling with? Because if they could potentially open your phone, could you just come with, a phone?
burner?
Yeah. A burner phone, or a phone that's just empty.
Yeah,
It doesn't have.
Yeah, you could. You can put your regular phone, mail it back to you, ship it to yourself, and carry a different type of phone if you feel safer. Sure.
Okay.
I mean, there's nothing. There's nothing preventing you from doing that if you feel better about that. So yeah, but they could look at an empty phone and be suspicious because it's empty.
Yeah. No, and what about, I know you mentioned, old convictions, and we already talked about that. So it's mostly felonies, 1 year or more, but of course, it's variable
Don't
depending.
quote me on that.
Yeah.
It's just crimes or crimes of moral turpitude.
Yeah.
They hold you at a certain standard of behavior. You don't pay your taxes.
And does this include expunged records, expunged
Yes.
criminal records?
It's-
So those can come back to life.
Immigration law does not recognize expungement of criminal record.
Huh? Say that
Okay.
again.
Immigration law does not recognize expungement of a criminal record
But
because you cannot lie on the application and they will find it.
oh, okay. No, I understand that part about the application. But in this case, let's say you have come back, and then they've gone back to the records, and they find this, and they're like, okay, you know what? Today we are triggering this. We just don't feel like, I don't like the way this guy looks, so I now need something, and this means I found this, and he's out. But it was expunged, which
Doesn't matter.
right. So their standards are different from what
Yes.
the law is, or
Well,
what
it's
is.
not
It's a
about,
law.
It's not about the law. They're different laws.
They're different laws.
The
But
one
it's
is-
expunged. The record
yeah.
is expunged, right? Which
Yeah,
means
State law.
Expunge-
Immigration
But
law.
Omoj,
It's different.
Hold on,
expungement
hold on.
of a record doesn't mean that you didn't
didn't
commit
happen.
whatever you
Yeah.
It still
committed.
happened.
It
still
happened.
happened.
oh, okay,
So immigration is just, did it happen? Yes, and that's it.
okay,
It's not did they take it away? Did they? No, it happened.
okay.
So
Are you rehabilitated?
expungement, yeah,
what-
expungement helps you in
Yes.
jobs and things like that.
One area where Kenyans especially, I don't know about other African countries, that Kenyans especially have to be very careful about, especially if you're a U.S. permanent resident or you're a US citizen, there's certain crimes, if you commit abroad, you can be charged in the US.
Correct.
And one of them, yes, and one of them, I want you guys to pay attention. One of them is being in contact with a minor, you know. And this is something, you know, like...
Can you please name it? You don't have to say being in contact with a minor. Is it having sex with a minor?
Yes,
Okay.
being in contact
Let's
with a
call
minor.
it that.
Being
Let's be
being
very
in contact
clear.
is different.
Yes.
Vis-a-vis.
Those who
No,
understand,
he was trying to clean it
No,
up.
don't
Unajua
clean up
Ramadan
anything.
inakuja.
You do know. Well, let me tell you something. What Ali said, being in contact, is actually true, because when you say having sex, most people will still have hiyo kukati yako katoto kadogo bado ni crime. Grooming is still a crime. So all that you can be charged in the US.
You can be charged in the US.
Yote.
You can be charged in the US, and you might end up spending a lot of years in custody. So I tell people, be very... This is not something that anyone should be doing anywhere.
Yeah.
But people need to understand that, especially if it's
Ali,
in the
But
public
our leader
domain.
is being defended
But there's
vehemently.
Epstein files,
No,
so
that
there's
one.
that.
There's that one. There's
That
that
one.
one. There's murder. There's fraud.
Yes.
Is
There's
fraud
murder,
inclusive of
there's fraud,
writing back
there's
checks?
There's
Yeah.
Okay.
I wanted to ask, but I'll wait for you.
So those are things that people need to be fully aware about. Now, Fatmata, is there any particular crimes, and I know you're not a criminal lawyer, but is there particular major crimes that are known to be red flags? You know, like when you have a green card before you become a citizen.
Or immigration.
Yeah. You know.
I mean, majority of the crimes. So from driving under the influence,
Murder.
well, I mean, that's a given, right?
Yeah.
Murder.
Epstein.
Epstein, yeah. Crimes that if you attack someone, if you don't pay your taxes, if you you know, if you lied on your application and it's fraud, if you're found to have fraudulently stolen money, you know, credit card fraud, things like that, right? Those are crimes of moral turpitude,
Yeah.
right? Those are crimes that says you're not a good person.
Yeah.
And so, you know, that could bar you from
So
getting
in lying in an
citizenship.
application where people get caught out, one of the questions they ask you in that citizenship application is, have you ever been involved in a polygamous union? And
I don't remember that question.
no, it's there.
Have you ever been involved in a
In a
polygamous?
polygamous union.
What does that mean? Like you've married somebody else and you've married,
Yes.
or you have two wives.
Kuna
Yes.
watu wawili ambayo
Have you
there
ever
are
been
two
involved in
people.
a polygamous
There are two
union?
people
Yes.
who claim you.
Yeah.
Wait,
No.
is it
What?
legally because people get around?
No,
that
even
situation?
if it's in another country, it could be legal in another country. Like let's say, like when you were living in Kenya, you had more than one wife at the same time.
Let me clarify that. People can be in a polygamous marriage that one is legal, like you went to court,
Like the
signed
sister
something,
wives.
like the sister wives, and the other one is come we stay. That is considered polygamy. But then
Where? In Kenya or here?
Here, we're talking about
here
No, here there is no kamwiste.
No. Polygamy is illegal.
I know that, but
Yeah.
people get around it.
There is no around it. That's what Ali is trying to say.
There's no, you know, like there's no.
I don't have to disclose it. If I did not legally marry you, I don't have to disclose that part, but people still do.
There's a show called Sister Wives.
Yeah, there's an entire show around this.
Oh, sorry, my bad.
Yes, you know, even in the state of Utah, I was surprised to find out that polygamy is illegal in Utah,
It is.
but it still happens. But they do not request for.
No, they
do
don't.
not request for government certificates.
That's what I meant.
For their
people
marriages.
get around it.
Yeah.
All right.
But then the thing is,
Yeah.
the thing is that is all good and easy when you're living a life. But then let's say for that unforeseen circumstance of death occurs, right? Division of property, coverage, and let's say how you take care and who's recognized on who's getting it. That's where it becomes tricky in that. So it's easier when you're alive, but then when it comes to that time where the union of marriage takes place in how the government gets involved into your affairs. That's where the issues come. Now, the other children or the wives of those who did something around it are not protected in any way legally.
Okay, so this is just one of those when you're applying, this could get you caught out. And Anmoy is asking, what about child support, unpaid child support?
All of that, it all goes hand in hand. There's a litany.
Okay.
I cannot state them all here tonight. We'll never
Yeah.
leave here. There's a litany of things. Just let's what do you call that? Foreign laws are respected to a certain degree. So whatever country you're coming from, whatever the rules are over there of being married, if you come with your marriage certificate and you can prove the marriage was legal over there, then your marriage is legal over here. I cannot confirm about whether having polygamous relationship outside of the U.S. directly impacts you here, because that's over there.
Green
as long
card
as you're
application.
not bringing it. Yeah, but it's the same. It's like saying, for instance, if you're married here and your wife applies for you, you know, you got married in Kenya, your wife comes to the U.S., she files for you to come. Just because you have a wife over there legally does not mean that this wife does not have the right to file for you to come and earn your green card. Now, you cannot then file for that other wife to come here because you can only be married to one woman. Do you understand?
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Do you understand?
Okay, I got you.
So it's not so much that having a legal, now, you know, if you're doing stuff illegally, because that's where you live. If that's your home and that's, you know, then that's something that's, you know, that's different, right? So I cannot speak to whether that would directly impact you. I haven't had that experience personally as an attorney.
Yeah.
I haven't had to deal with that personally, but logically, I don't see them saying, you know, if you, in the application, you put, you know, because they ask you and you answer, you know, honestly.
Yeah, there was a funny debate that was happening. You know,
I'll have to look that up.
Yeah,
that's something I've never experienced before.
Yes,
so
yeah.
That's
So look
something
that
I'll have
up.
to
Yeah,
look up and see
look that up.
how and if it really,
because there was a
does,
funny debate that was
impact.
happening where, you know, some people were asking, you know, like since the Supreme Court, you know, like allowed same-sex marriages, live and let live, why can't they live and let live and allow people to marry
To
more
have
than
their
one wife?
harems?
Yeah, because that's also, you know, like a different type of
but it's not
marriage.
but it's not been determined to be legal, so
It's not determined to be. No, it's
legal.
not. Yeah, it's not
Right.
determined to be legal.
until it is,
Yeah,
then
so
But the
someone was
argument
saying,
is
yeah,
that,
the
yeah.
argument is there. Someone should, you know, like go challenge it and, you know,
good
like,
luck to them.
yeah.
Can I read the
No,
comments?
yeah, number to call is 202-683-4570. Press star 5 to speak. Ruth, read the comments.
Esther Melissa says, having two boyfriends doesn't count. It has to be legal marriage, right?
This Esther.
Esther, I love you for
Esther
that.
Nisumbua. Leo Esther.
Love you for that.
Hey.
Okay.
And then that was Esther, yeah. And
Yeah,
then,
that was Esther.
Yeah, polygamy is marrying two people legally at the same time. As is Anmoy. Neo has two and broken no law, no certificate. So like people can get around
Correct.
it.
No
Just
certificate
don't
means
file
one of them is
anything.
not.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. And then Oshake answers, Esther Mulsa, no,
Neo has more than two.
polyandry
Yeah.
is okay. And yeah, I keep saying if we're going to advocate for polygamy, polyandry has to be part of that conversation. It's funny because most Western countries don't acknowledge marriages that are done outside their countries. Many European marry people away from Europe, but those marriage certificates don't hold sway in Europe.
Okay.
Is that true?
That I don't know. Like I'm learning about that for the first time. Yeah. But yeah, like interesting. So these are questions that come up, and just make sure you're in the right space. Now, Fatmata, back to you. Can receiving public benefits cost you citizenship?
Cost you citizenship?
Like
If you're a green card holder,
Oh,
if you're a
card,
green
yes.
card holder.
no.
So simple answer is no, because this is one of the pieces of misinformation that has been
I think
going
the
round.
question should be before you file your green card.
Or before you file your green card.
Yes.
Okay.
Receiving, what is the question?
Public assistance.
Public assistance.
Yeah.
Will that affect you getting a green card?
Also, please define public assistance.
Public assistance could be
SNAP.
Food stamps.
food stamps,
Yeah.
things like
whatever.
Medicaid. Is that
Medicaid.
considered public
What?
assistance?
No, in that circle, because what used to happen.
Unemployment, part of
Unemployment.
that.
Yes, unemployment
I
is.
mean,
No, it's
so,
not.
So it's not. It's
Unemployment
not
will-
the receipt of services. It is fraudulently receiving something that you're not supposed to receive, right? So if you're undocumented, you do not have rights to public benefits, and you normally don't get it, right? You have to have a social security number. You have to have all these things that are required for you to receive public benefits. If you do, that means you did something that you were not supposed to do to get the public benefits. And it's a very small percentage of people,
Yeah.
if at all, right? So public benefits could impact, because what it says to the government is that you cannot take care of yourself.
Your public charge.
Correct.
Yeah.
So there's the public charge rule.
Okay.
Now,
Question.
let
I
me
have a
let me.
question on that. Can I follow up on that?
So that may be what people are concerned about, and can be a concerning thing, right? Because then the government says, we don't want to have to take care of you. And if we have to take care of you, here are the million questions you need to answer, because now there's a whole lot of questions you need to answer to prove that you're not a public charge.
So if you were on H-1B and you lost your job, and in between as you're looking for, because you have like 60 days to look for another job,
Okay.
can you file for unemployment in those 60 days?
If you're H1B is qualified for unemployment.
I don't.
They
think- I
don't.
don't-
They
I
take
can't-
they take the insurance from everybody, right?
I mean, yeah.
They don't
I
care
mean,
your status as long as you have a payroll. You're on payroll.
they
They
don't
take
care
it.
about that. But
Oh, okay. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Hold on.
Unless you're a diplomat.
I cannot say as an immigration law attorney
Yeah.
what a state will do for unemployment.
it's state based.
Correct.
Yeah, it is
Okay.
state
The
based.
state determines whether you qualify for unemployment or not.
Okay.
Because you have a right to work in the country does not always necessarily mean you
Qualify for unemployment.
qualify for these
Programs
benefits.
or benefits. Okay.
But that's an interesting question that I would look into.
Please
I'll
do.
be quite honest, because most of my practice is family reunification.
Okay.
I've done a few visas,
Yeah.
but my specialty in practice is family unification.
Hasn't the Trump administration been trying to, like strip these benefits from people who are non-citizens? Which means including people who previously qualified.
In reference to what? What do you mean?
Like Section 8 housing. There was something, they were removing certain people from Section 8 housing. And I am not sure exactly who they were. There's something they are doing. This Trump administration has been doing things in quite rapid succession. So sometimes you're
keep
trying to
up.
follow this story, then there's 5 others that that have happened while you're trying to follow this one
The
story.
chaos,
Yeah.
Yeah, but I think also to add to that, I think at one point the public charge
The public
issue
charge rule.
became an issue in 20 2020, like during that campaign, not even 2016,
Yeah.
where it was people were trying to define exactly what
What are public
is.
charges? And I remember we even talked about it
When
on
we
the
talked
show.
about it, because we're not even sure. And it was one of those where if depending on if you get unemployment, is it a problem? Going back to what Omosh was asking, like, is it a problem if you Ruth, what Ruth was asking, if you receive unemployment, even though you've paid into it or your company has paid into it and you've been laid off or something happens, and if you get it, does it present a problem when you're filing for your papers? And this is a question for Wakili over here. What do you say, Wakili, in your mother tongue?
I don't know what wakili is.
Wakili is lawyer. What do you say, lawyer?
Lawyer.
Carry on.
That's a good one. That's a good one. One Mike didn't see it coming.
Yeah.
He didn't see it coming at all. He
Not
didn't.
at all.
He didn't.
Yeah.
I will report it to the other.
You walked right
other-
into that
He
one.
didn't see it
And I
coming.
was expecting it, but these people, they don't have a kid.
Lord. So what is the question?
You even confused me.
I'll tell you.
Public charge.
Public
and,
charge, like okay, so there was a lot of what exactly would be a problem in an impediment if you're filing for a green card. Forget citizenship, a green card. In terms of receiving certain benefits. So like you said, I think when you talked about it's state by state based. However, getting your paperwork, that's a federal
Right. So it's what I said earlier. It's basically if you're undocumented, you don't have right
To do that.
to benefit. So if you receive benefits, you probably
So if you have a H1,
Oh, you're talking about
H1,
H1?
No,
H1 is not
like-
undocumented.
What are you talking about?
so no. So if you have a H1,
Okay.
that cannot be that would not impede you from, if let's say for example, like she was asking, and I think you're gonna investigate, if you get laid off.
Says she will.
Yeah.
No. You get laid off, or something happens, your company shuts down, or no longer decides to employ you. Then
Can
if
you receive unemployment benefits?
yes.
Well, I mean, here's the thing. If you don't have a job with your
So
company,
legally.
you're out of status.
You
I-
have time.
You're
And-
undocumented. You have 60 days.
Of 60 days.
So
Yeah.
you're saying within those 60 days?
Not with this, not
that
with this
what
guy,
you're saying?
not
Yeah.
with this
Yeah,
guy.
she
Yeah.
said
So I
she
think-
said within
Yeah.
the
I think
60
you have
days.
60
Yeah,
days.
60 days to
Either you
find a
find
job.
another job or you
So
exit
you're
the
saying
country.
Yeah.
Get within the 60 days to get unemployment benefits.
Can you get, yeah.
Well, unemployment benefits are state by state. They're not federal.
They're not federal. Yeah.
Every
Okay.
state has.
Their
Different
own
rules.
Yeah, and
And they do have a rule, like you have to be out of work for
a certain amount of time, and you have to prove
Yeah.
that you're looking for work.
Yeah.
And I really cannot speak to that.
Okay.
Most of what I do is family unification,
Okay.
and so knowing the intricacies of H-1B visas, there are people way more versed than me in H-1B visas. I know enough to be able to work with you and get it done.
Yeah.
And but these.
What about pending marriage cases? Because this, I think,
Now that's my forte.
yes.
Huh?
Yes. Now,
What
this
is a pending
these
marriage?
pending marriage cases, the period of wait, and you know this more than anyone else here,
Yeah.
it has extended almost indefinitely. What
Yeah.
used to take a very short period of time, people are now waiting 2-3 years with no. So what is going on right there?
What is a pending marriage?
You know,
Case.
like
No pending case
Adjustment.
Pending case.
of a marriage.
as in,
Adjustment.
let's say like you're a U.S. citizen, you got
Uh-huh.
you got married to someone, and they're now adjusting their status.
Okay.
They're given a work permit,
Yes.
and they're adjusting their status, waiting for a green card once that gets approved. Yeah.
So
Okay.
it's one of those situations where they pick and choose which one to move fast. And I don't know why they're taking so long. And there have been others that have moved really quickly.
In the same jurisdiction?
Yeah, because I mean,
Same
this is-
meaning like Eastern District
Yeah,
versus
yeah.
blah blah
Mhm.
versus whatever.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
got it.
But again, it all depends who gets your case, and it's on a case by case basis.
Oh, so it's case by
Sometimes
case.
It's a very much case by case basis. Some of them move fast, some of them don't. And
Yeah.
unfortunately, for you to get a real answer, because even when you call, the people you're talking to, they're just looking it up on the computer and they're giving you information.
The
that-
same thing that you would see when you looked up
yeah.
yourself.
Yeah.
You know, unless you go to court, and that sometimes is the ultimate thing is to go to court and force their hand.
So for the going to court, you would have to file something in order for
Yes.
them to give you time for you to go to court, because you can't
Yes.
just show up at where's
No.
that place, Charles Street or whatever it was. Well, they moved from Charles Street, whatever. But
No, I mean you
can't
file.
just
You file a case in
you have
court
to okay. You have to
against USCIS.
so you can't just walk up like before. We used to back in the day. I might be aging myself. We used to be able to go like with your whatever your paperwork is and kind of like ask questions, and somebody would be able to
No,
give
you
you
still
info.
can. Just make an
Okay.
appointment to go and talk to someone.
Okay.
You can.
Okay.
So
Anne says, as of 2026, USCIS continues to exclude unemployment insurance from public charge. That's from the USCIS website.
So now let me
Okay.
present a real life scenario case, and I think this will piggyback on what Adhiambo had read. Somebody had read a comment. So, because the issue now is usually people are just being picked up. So you have a situation where somebody has been going for a regular checkup in Baltimore. Hopkins Plaza. Like you're required by
Check-in.
immigration.
Regular
check-in.
check-in.
And then whatever happens, it so happens that on a regular check-in, you get detained
Why are you checking in?
because it is required of
It's
you
part
because
of-
you're following the process.
It's part of
it's part of the
your
immigration
ongoing
process.
case, whatever it is.
Whatever
You're
it is.
You're either in up for removal
You're-
or whatever, but you have an
you're-
ongoing immigration
It's-
case.
Your file for asylum, your child has sponsored you, whatever it is, something comes up where
Okay. So what you're talking about is usually people who are in removal, but maybe their case was,
Deferred.
you know, the judge says, okay, listen, you've been here, whatever, and you ask and you say, well, can I stay? And the judge say, yes, you can stay. We are going to put your case on sleep. We're going to kind of pause your case and put it away for a while. But you can work. But this is what you need to do. You need to show up every year and show that you are being a productive member of society and you're not causing any problem. So people have been doing this for some people for decades, right? They've just stayed. So they have a right to stay. They've just stayed, right? And what you're talking about are people who have been showing up, and nowadays they show up like they've been doing for however long, and they get detained because they are still technically in removal. So then they don't get to go home. And there's another aspect of it where your case is what's called administratively closed. So you go to the judge and you say, can you please just close my case? Let me stay here. The judge at the time, they would give administrative closure. They'll say, yeah, okay, we'll close out your case for now, but anybody can come open it. The government or you can come and reopen your case if you want to do something. Now, what they're doing is they're filing motions to reopen a lot of these cases and put them back on the docket, because once it's reopened, you now have a live case of removal again. So there are people who have had their cases administratively for over a decade, and they're living their lives. They have work permit. They're doing and now their cases have been reopened. They're now at risk to be deported and removed from the country. So that's what's happening. And a lot of them are Black immigrants, African immigrants. And I've told people, we think it's not happening within the Black immigrant community, the African immigrant community. It is. There are just no cameras.
Yeah. It's
They're
just not in the news.
quietly disappearing.
Yeah.
And I tell people, look around you. If you
Yeah.
stop seeing friends,
Yes.
you stop seeing some
Yep.
people, something has happened.
And the
they
po-
didn't just leave you.
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
There's things happening right now. What you're talking about, that's what that is. People reporting, and they're required. If you miss your reporting, you could be immediately
Yeah,
put on
warrant
a
of
wall.
arrest, yes.
So
Or bench warrant is issued.
let me expand. So Ali has a 21-year-old, 22. Didn't have papers. Probably tried. So the 21-year-old decides to file for him. And let's say is married to Ruth. So the 21-year-old files, Ruth gets. But now him is required for some reason. It's not known. And again, we don't know to what extent the background, whatever wishy-washy, it's not known. So Ruth gets, he doesn't get, but he's required to do regular check-ins. On one of those regular check-ins, he goes in and is detained. We're talking about 2 weeks ago.
Okay.
Detained.
Okay.
Now he's in California, in another place, somewhere in
That's what they do.
In the forest.
in the forest,
Yeah.
especially somewhere probably like far, like
Yeah.
if we say Mafefeine, like uko in the boondocks, like uko
Yeah.
Ushago, like whatever.
Yeah.
Like I know it's a frustrating endeavor to tire Ali from to give up, to get himself whatever. But already paperwork has been submitted. It's in process. Like the son,
And
everything.
For the dad.
Yeah. How do you go about it?
I have to know what the background information is.
All right.
Yeah.
You have
Get
to
you-
know.
I'll get you the information.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You have to know what the background
Yeah,
is.
Yeah,
so
'cause that's,
Wow.
that is yes.
Because that is.
But the refusal there, to me, looking on from the outside, with the separation where like Ruth gets it and Ali's put on this kind of like holding pattern. It's like there's
What did you
more
do,
stuff.
Ali?
Yeah, like Ali must
Ulifanya
have
nini?
done something
I
that
have my deals that
so
I
Shenanigans.
Ruth didn't
So I
know
think
about Ali's third wife. Maybe that's what it was that came up, and so
Fourth wife.
sorry, fourth, yeah.
so unless you know the details,
yeah,
It
you
is
know,
hard.
like,
Yeah, yeah.
It is hard. So
Because
what I
sometimes
want to
there are
do is I'm
details
going to
that are
get
known.
it is because from what I understand, from what I'm hearing, and this is from people who are in
in the
detention.
mix. In the
and,
mix.
and some who have come out.
Yeah.
That the process is such that it's frustrating. It's being made frustrating so that you can just
Give up.
So you give up
Because-
and you
Yeah, so-
self-deport.
yes, or whatever. You just say, no,
okay,
let me
yeah,
take you.
yeah.
However, like when you listen to stories, you find that guys have been fighting. The guys have been there for like a year and a half. Just have been fighting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fighting.
For possibility of survival.
Yes.
Yeah.
And sometimes it's one of those where like when you listen to the stories,
Yeah.
it's so economically extracting because the finances are just being your finances, whatever it is, are just being drained because a phone call, one phone call to like, so if Ali is gonna call Ruth, it's gonna be like $50.
Yeah.
One phone call.
Oh.
Not unless now you put
Yeah.
money in the commissary and whatever. Anyway,
Okay.
I
All
have
right.
sidebar.
Yeah. And Apa, there's a comment from Jerry saying, Apo kwa taxes, many Kenyans don't believe it can have you deported. Yes, it can. That's Jerry here on YouTube. Now, the other part before
Taxes is bad. Ask me
Yeah.
and I can tell Jerry. Tell Jerry if he has not paid his taxes. Most people haven't paid their taxes. Their American passport will not be given to them, meaning the U.S. passport services will not give you services, aka you cannot get your American passport. Ask me how I know.
Okay.
Move on.
All right. Now, when you sponsor someone financially, you know, like let's say, like I sponsored someone to am I responsible for them forever?
life.
In case.
When they become a citizen, it ends. When they die, it ends.
Oh, okay, but as long as they're not a citizen,
Yes,
you're still responsible.
They are
for
still
them.
your
Yes.
ward. Yes.
Okay.
What
I
if they
think
get a
that's-
green card?
No.
Even if they
citizen.
get a green card?
Green card is not.
No, green card is
no.
not citizenship.
Citizenship,
Yeah.
which means
I'm lost.
you're-
What do you mean? What do you sponsor?
Citizenship
What?
means you're now personally responsible for yourself. Prior to that, you're not. Even though you have a green card.
when someone gets a green card,
Right.
the embassy even asks for tax returns. For the person who's sponsoring you, they have to prove that there's someone in that country that will sponsor them.
Green card is residency, my friend.
Wewe unaonekana hujawai sponsor. You've never been a sponsor.
Green card is not citizenship. Or which
Yeah.
part is it that you?
Oh,
Yes.
so you have to be a citizen to sponsor somebody from coming in.
Yes, you have to be
Yeah.
a citizen, and you have to provide your tax returns to the embassy in Kenya. So if you had lied to people in Kenya that I make 250K a year, they will see your tax returns. Yeah.
40,000.
Yeah, because they will see your 40,000.
But you're still within because it's supposed to be 18.
Oh, 200,000 is maybe Kenya shillings a month.
The threshold is low.
It's very low.
But yes, when you're coming in with a green card, just because you won DV lottery, it does not automatically mean you can come. You have to go.
So
back
DV
to-
lottery
Someone.
sponsor is a
Certain-
citizen. Is a citizen. Would be a citizen.
Yeah.
It's a
as a
citizen.
sponsor,
Yeah.
Not-
You have to have an address. You have to provide tax returns. There's a whole array of things that you have to provide. You know, so ukipata DV lottery, it just doesn't mean that
That's
now-
stage one.
That's just
You
stage
now
one.
have to go through certain things for them
Yeah.
to now say, okay, this person is coming in and they won't be a quote unquote public charge.
Let me give you a story. My mom used to have like Kitambo. She had like a tailoring business, and you know, tailoring jobs. I don't know why Wajaluo used to do them very well. So we had this guy
Omosho just chill.
who his family got.
Imagine.
His family got green card, and then they had a fundraiser because you also need to pay some money. They had a fundraiser for people to come and raise money for them to come to the US because there's some money that you need to pay.
Yeah.
So in that fundraiser, we showed up. Guess what? We were the only ones who showed up for
So-
the fundraiser.
So the other,
Walikuwa wamenunua soda
so the
na nini.
Jaluos were not there.
No, they didn't show up. They
Akina
didn't show
Omosho,
up.
man.
Yeah. Na alikuwa ni mtu anaishi line saba.
I-
And then now you
yeah.
see, so he ended up losing that
The opportunity because he couldn't raise the money.
Yes, he couldn't raise the money. So there's a lot of people who lose opportunities because they can't raise the money.
Yeah.
And then you also have to provide proof that there's someone over there who will host you. And this person who's hosting you, they have to provide their tax return. So you cannot just write Ali's name. Yeah. Utasema, okay, Ali, where is tax returns?
I'll write Fatmata's name.
Yeah.
Fatmata is not giving you her tax returns.
So where are Fatmata's tax returns showing she earns $3 million a year? Where are they?
She's not about
Yeah.
to show you those
Yeah.
things.
They're over there on what's that street?
Which street?
Not Koinange Street. River Road. I'm
Yeah.
just joking.
Or
Yeah.
where they make the
So you see,
Oh,
those
sorry,
things
I'm
don't
just
work
joking, I'm just
anymore.
joking, I'm
yeah.
just
So you see, Apa Washeke is saying,
Wow. I didn't know that.
so Wamahot is saying, Allah, I did not know that about DV lottery. Yes, you will know this if you've.
If you've done,
If you've gone
you've
through
managed
it,
my
if
challenges.
If you've gone
Yeah.
through it, or you have a relative who has
No.
gone through it with you.
Or if you've sponsored someone.
That's why I said you have a
Yeah.
relative who has gone through it with you.
Yes, you know it. So yeah, just because someone
They need
won
to
DV
be welcomed.
lottery.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they need to be
It's-
welcomed. They
yeah.
need a place of abode and
Yes.
so on and so forth.
So American you are janja. You cannot just show up. You cannot just show up, and they have to make sure that there's somewhere you're going to make sure you're not a burden. So Amahot is saying I did not know about the DV lottery, and then Washeke is saying the host of the DV lottery winner has to provide W-2s, tax returns, and a kidney.
And a pinky.
Yes. Okay. All right. Good. So that's very important to know. So when you're sponsoring people, you're responsible for them. The other thing, as we get to a close here to wrapping up, sending money. That's another thing that has been spreading around on social media. Does sending money, like on Sendwave or other money sending apps, does that expose you in one way or another? These are just pieces of information or misinformation that are spreading around in different groups.
In the WhatsApp networks.
Yes.
As far as immigration is concerned,
Wakili.
Yeah.
I don't know of any situation where sending money is a bad thing or can impact your immigration status, unless you're sending money to terrorists and whatnot. So,
Okay.
I mean, I'm
So
not
if I send money to Omosh, I'm in trouble. Okay, thank you. Good to know.
Okay. All right. Now.
Fatmata, I see the way you said nothing.
Yeah.
No defense, nothing at all. Criminal attorney or not.
You're putting Fatmata in very.
You see, did you hear how she laughed? She even laughed and even added an
But
extra.
She does not know what she's walking into with you guys.
Oh no, she knows. You see how she's cool under fire. She knows. She's been here enough times.
So now, again, as we get to a close, if someone has no papers today, how should they
do?
prepare? Because that's...
Or should they use that YouTube ad?
Yeah.
If you see this is for you.
Because they have families, they have, and we're living in this risky environment. If you don't have papers...
It's uncertain.
Like
I don't know if risky is. It's so uncertain.
How do you prepare for that?
Make sure you designate, if you have a family and you have children, make sure you have somebody who's designated to take care of those kids.
What does that mean? Someone you told that you take care of the kids?
Have a power of attorney for your children. Have a family plan as to what happens if you are detained.
Okay.
So your kids go to school, they come home, mom and dad not there. What happens? You need to have a plan with your kids.
Okay.
And you need to have somebody you trust.
So the designation is in writing.
Yes.
It's not verbal.
It's in writing. You must make sure.
That they have to sign it.
Yes,
Yeah.
you should have a power of attorney. There's whole bunch of documents. I'll send you some written stuff that you can share with your networks of examples, templates, and to create a plan for their family. So it could be making sure a neighbor knows. I don't know. Or anybody.
It could be anyone, whoever you trust. And for a lot of us, actually, it ends up being neighbors. As crazy as it sounds, it's never a relative.
Right. Somebody who can access your bank account for your kids, somebody who can access your mortgage. I mean, just a whole bunch of different things that you need to put in place.
Wow.
Yeah.
Just like you would if, God forbid, you pass away, who's going to take care of your children? So of the same process, right? But this one is if you're disappeared. And an attorney. You should have an attorney on speed dial. You should have somebody's card or on your phone, or call somebody who knows how to get a hold of the attorney to know where you are. Film anything wherever you are so people know where you are. Make sure people know where you're going at all times. That's something I do. I tell people extra. It's an extra thing I tell people. It's not necessarily. I tell people, make sure people at all times, somebody knows where you are. Somebody should know where you're going. So that if they're stopping you at the GW Parkway, somebody knows you are at the GW Parkway and they know where to go look, right? Because they are picking people up their cars to just leave from wherever it is they found them at.
Yes.
All kind of stuff. People are walking down the street, they nab them. Nobody knows what happened to them. They just disappear. A whole bunch of stuff. And I'll use the young man as an example again. The only reason they knew where Kilma Abrego was because they happened to have a camera in that space. And people are like, wait, is that him? Because they didn't know where he was. He just disappeared. Nobody knew what happened to him, where he went. Nobody knew anything. He just disappeared. And it's because the camera spanned and was like, wait, is that him? And that's how they found him.
Wow.
But nobody knew what happened to him. So I would suggest to people, if you're undocumented, or even if you're not, make sure people know where you are, where you're going. I've made it a habit since forever. My partner has my calendar in his phone. He knows where I am at all times. When I'm leaving a meeting, I'll call him. I'll text him. I'm just not leaving. I'm in my car. I'm on my way home. I'm going to stop at Trader Joe's to get something.
Wow, it's
Like
gotten to that. Yeah.
literally. I mean, I've always made it a habit,
Yeah.
but I think it's even more necessary now. Know where your people are. Make sure people know where you are, who you're with, and what you're doing. Because anything can happen. Literally anything can happen. They are talking about denaturalizing people,
Yes.
right? Going
Yes.
back and removing your citizenship. It's not something easy to do, right? But still, the fact that they're talking about it should, perk people up and say, I need to take certain steps to protect myself and my family. I'm not saying don't live your life, because I go everywhere. I do everything. But I still make sure wherever I am, the one person closest to me knows where I am at all times. And it's not, I don't want to tell it. That's a choice you make. But my choice is he knows where I am at all times. And if I forget, that's why I made sure the calendars are linked so that he knows where I'm supposed to be.
Yeah.
Yeah? Where I'm supposed to be and how long I'm supposed to be there for.
Okay.
And if it's going over, I text him. Hey, it's supposed to be 9. I'm sorry. It's, So you know what I'm doing and where I am. Now, if people are hiding stuff, that's a different problem.
I'm actually.
I was going to say that.
This is really good.
But we've gotten to that. We've gotten to that where it's
You
becoming
have to.
important.
I think.
And sharing locations. I see a lot of people do
Yeah.
that, like with their friends, like especially girlfriends. They'll do
Yeah.
that. They'll share locations
I
at
need to
all.
share
So like,
locations.
so at all points, there's one person or two people who always know where you are. Like they always, like you've always shown, share your
Yeah.
location, and that's
Yeah.
a feature that is really great, especially if I don't know, you're a single lady in a city and know nobody, and maybe you know 3 people.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So if you do things just for regular safety, other than this,
Yeah.
You know-
Yeah. Go ahead, Ruth.
No, it's profound that you brought that up, because I just thought right now, if something were to happen to me, I mean, right now I don't have a car, so if anything between now and my house right now, it's early.
so you're putting it on radio that if anything were to happen to you between now and
But that's just today, right?
Okay.
Giving me a ride.
so for tomorrow, what happens?
See, I'm on
You
my
might want
own.
to share your location
And nobody knows.
You might want to share your location with
one
somebody
knows.
else. I'm
Paul-
just saying.
Pole sana Ali for being
Anything.
a good career.
No,
Right?
it's just-
A good scapegoat. A
Yeah.
good.
No, just
yes.
for tonight. Just for tonight. But I'm just saying, it just made me think. I actually
Like who knows where you are?
know. Yeah, do you know I've literally gotten in the
That's-
car
Yeah.
and gone to the hospital for surgery in an Uber because there's no one, right?
But surely, Ruth, you know us. At least even if you called one of us, we might tell you.
It was emergency.
But I think also,
But somebody still needs to know. It's all I'm saying.
But you know,
Yeah.
Uno.
Information.
But you know,
Yeah.
Uno. These things are no, Umosh.
But-
These things are easier said.
That's true.
No,
but
but
when
people
when,
need
when
to
reality,
realize. No, but
yes.
Ali, you're right.
Yeah.
How many times have we gone through situations where somebody was found kwa nyumba and has been gone for a week,
yeah.
but there was no communication?
I
2
thought
weeks.
about that today. I don't know what I was thinking.
I
was
think
in the
this
house
is not just
working on
immigration.
something. Yeah, no,
It's
this is
not
serious.
just
'Cause
immigration.
I was in the house today and I was like, if I were to fall, and I don't have, because sometimes I leave my phone somewhere else, right?
Yeah.
And my phone is not near me. What would I do? You know, I think I thought about that today. So when you brought this up, like someone needs to know where you are at all times, and this is not even for immigration. It's just like day to day.
Just in general,
Yeah.
day to day.
Right?
Yeah. These are
What-
things that people need to think
What
about.
would happen? And I'm not kidding. Right now, I think you would take a week if you don't call me, because people don't call me that much.
And we know why they don't. Yeah, we know why you're on.
She's
call.
still finding
you
herself.
would find, I think the life would drain out of me slowly, and then
No, but that,
You
but you
know.
know, that's what happens. You know,
that is
and-
what happens.
'cause you
But
know-
this is like ringing so true right now.
yeah,
Please
because you
leave
know,
me alone.
sometimes people also think that they're very young and these things cannot happen to them.
Yeah.
I've had there was an episode in my life where I was having back issues. There was a time when I was just seated down and I could not move completely. Like it took me like 2 hours to get from my living room to my bedroom where I could lay back and where my phone was. And where I was able to call a cousin of mine, and I was taken, like to to the emergency room. So these things, by the way, it's not only ice, like
It's just life.
Yes,
Life.
it's life. I
Yeah.
think we need to get into the habit of letting people who are close to us, and I also, like people who are most vulnerable are parents, one parent, like single parents, because as a single parent, you're a single point of failure. If something happens to you and you have minor kids, that right there can
a
be
problem.
Yeah.
very
It's
tragic.
tough. It's
Yeah,
tough.
because your kids will be picked up by child protection services, and you might
And that's
just,
another story.
and you might
That's
just never
opening
see
another
them.
can
And they'll be
worms.
disappeared.
Yeah.
Now, I wanted to say something because of what I've experienced recently, and I think I'll share this information, and I'm thinking you will support. If you have a loved one who gets picked up by ICE,
Yeah.
request for make sure you request for habeas corpus. Let the body be. Make sure that you identify where the body is.
Yeah.
And get bonded out.
Wait, what?
Bonded out meaning you get released on bond.
But now, what if they've taken them to Denver
Get-
or Salt Lake City?
You still have that option.
Boss.
Yeah.
Get bonded out.
Okay, explain
So
why.
okay.
So
this-
bonded out,
yeah.
it means that if you get bonded out, you can fight your case outside. It is a possibility right now, from experience, where if you get bonded out, then you can fight from outside. If you don't get bonded out by the second hearing of your case, whatever it is, you cannot fight it. This is from somebody who was released recently and was told by a judge.
So is it in
So
case,
bonding means
Yeah.
that you're released on bond.
so habeas corpus? How are they going to habeas corpus when someone has been
You request
transported to
when
Denver?
you request for the habeas corpus, but this one, our lawyer will.
But that's
whatever.
what
you
I'm
have to present
asking.
the body.
But that's what I'm asking.
Yes.
If someone has already, by the time you're going to ask, that person is in Denver.
That's fine. What? No, that's why we have Fatmata over here. But from the experience of the person who what they
the
went
person,
through,
had they been taken to another state?
yes,
Or are they
Yes.
still local?
yes, they are taken
Okay.
to they are taken to another state.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, they got bonded out. In fact, it was the judge who said, "My friend, if you are not bonded out, but the next mention
during
during
this
this
mention,
time,
Yeah.
you would not have been
the next one
Yeah.
you would have not been, you would not have come out."
And I'm assuming the bonding requires
Money.
money.
No, of course it
Yes.
requires money, but you have to get a bonding company. Like how when you have a criminal case that you get bonded, because
These things
immigration
people are not
bond,
familiar with them, by the
immigration
way.
bond
Can you-
is
yeah.
different. So there's immigration bond and criminal. Like how sometimes you'd get arrested. So I'll give you the example of somebody that I know on my side on criminal call. You where you would go and pay even 5% bond.
Yeah.
Or 10%
10%.
tops.
10%.
Yeah.
So if your bond is 3,000, you pay 300 for
Hey.
10%.
You guys know a bit too much.
Where? Just,
boss, just go with the flow.
Just go
Okay,
with the
okay,
flow.
okay.
So
Please,
criminal
please.
bond
Yeah.
and criminal bond, that's where you find you find bond companies.
You go to a bail bondsman.
a bail bondsman
Yeah.
that will take 300 and maybe
They'll take
present a title
Yes.
or something like
For
a
the
title for your
difference,
car,
yes.
whatever. As long as the person you bond out goes for the mentions,
Okay.
right? Then you can usually you can get the money back.
Then you won't forfeit your bond.
So you won't forfeit your car and everything.
Yes.
That's criminal bond. Immigration bond is a different thing. It's a different monster. So you sort of, and in this case, in this environment,
Yeah.
in this temperature,
Yeah.
it's different.
Where?
So like you find an immigration bond is, you're being told, okay, we'll release you on 50,000 bond because you're a flight risk. So you have to get a bond company that is willing to bond you out.
And pay the money.
Whatever it is, no.
Put up
Whatever
the
their
money.
rate is, whatever their rate is, they'll tell you, give us 5%. But we'll need this and this and this. Whatever the agreement is with that bond company,
And
it is between. Then once you do that, then the immigration or sawa no bond company mesema, they'll submit paperwork. And then Ali, if Ali was inside, he's released.
Yeah.
So you have to make sure that you get your person bonded out. That is the first step.
Once they've been detained.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
So
Let-
you need to so you need to be able to track where they are.
Which goes back
Which
to
goes back to what?
what Fatmata was saying. Have a system in place where
Have a
things
system in
there.
place.
Especially
that
if you
whole
know
tracking,
you
blah,
don't
blah,
have.
blah. Yes.
Oh, and by the way, so like if let's say for example, I'm sorry, I know we're keeping her, and I know she needs to leave. But let's say for example, if you are one of the people who are required to check in, you go for a check-in at a site.
Yeah.
So like if you're in Baltimore, you go for a check-in Pale Hopkins.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Make sure you go with a lawyer.
Or you don't go solo.
Don't go solo.
Okay.
Do not go alone. Wherever you are, if you're in Texas, if you're in Florida, if you're in Minnesota, if you're in Oklahoma, don't go alone, especially when you're required to go to a check-in, go with a lawyer. Because at that point in time already, if you go in, you have a friend, went in for a check-in, now the guy is perambulating.
Okay.
Yes.
All right.
Oh, sorry. Now, confirm or deny or rectify from what I have shared, and then we'll wrap up. I'm sorry. Our esteemed lawyer, Wakili.
Yeah.
Whenever you go talk to Kenyans, say Wakili.
She said lawyer.
Oh, Wakili. Sorry.
Okay. So, I'll do what attorneys do that people hate, that we say, it depends.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay? It depends.
And that was my thought too.
So, because this administration put out a policy saying undocumented immigrants who maybe came through without inspections, they may not apply to most Africans because we fly in and we get inspected, we may overstay a visa, but we have had many who have come through the border of late. They may not qualify for bond. There's a mandatory detention, a denial of bond.
Okay.
Okay.
So it all depends. It's on a case by case.
It's case by case.
We had, I think it just came out, a federal decision that I think it was this week or last week that just came down, which was basically kind of split decision, federal court that sort of gave the administration what they want, unfortunately.
Wow.
So there's a lot, and it's constantly changing. So I don't want anyone to get married to anything we talk about here, because there's constant change. This administration is changing policies left and right, and there are many policies that are being challenged in court. But the unfortunate part for immigrants is that sometimes by the time a decision is made in court, it's too late for them.
Because you're out of the country.
Correct. And so then you are at a major disadvantage about whether because you're no longer within the U.S.
Yeah.
So, a lot of things are standard, but so much is changing.
Yeah.
Where they are just
And we have 3 more years.
There's now, if you file for asylum, no matter how good your case is,
Yeah.
It's denied.
they may not adjudicate. It's never been about being denied. I mean, not even adjudicate your case. Instead, they'll file a motion to move you to a different country completely, a country that you're not from, have never been to, and know nothing about. And the court's hands are tied because the way it's been decided by the Board of Immigration Appeals is that the only people who can determine if the receiving third country is safe and proper is the administration, and they've determined for Africans is Uganda.
Wow.
But I thought Uganda had said no before, or that was just on that case that we were hearing.
Was it?
They signed the agreement in July.
Aha.
So the agreement is signed, so they can literally decide you are going to Uganda.
So you could be from Burkina Faso and they take you to Uganda.
You could be from Tanzania. You could be from Tunisia. You are being sent to Uganda if they choose to put in the motion for you to be sent to Uganda.
Ben,
and their hands are very much tied.
So this is that depends part. It depends on who's.
And you see the way
who's.
the Ugandan president is the one who works lyrical against the West all the time. All the time, but he's busy, like signing. Yes, he's busy signing these deals with them. What about, I thought, South Sudan? Was South Sudan also?
They only have one agreement that I know of right now.
Or only with Uganda?
As far as I know.
Okay.
In Africa, basically.
So
Right.
basically,
I mean,
if your country denies you, like the way sometimes the country would not accept.
They don't have to deny you.
Remember, you filed asylum. Ali, you're someone from Africa who has filed asylum, and you're here in the U.S. and you're filing asylum. The U.S. will say, okay, no problem. We're taking you to Uganda.
Wow.
So anything to do with this case will be dealt with, but you're going to be in Uganda, not in the U.S. You'll be in Uganda. That's what this agreement is. And the administration's hands are tied in terms of...
Not administration.
Immigration's hands.
Judge.
The judge's hands are... Yes, because normally there's an immigration judge who is supposed to be a neutral party. But in this case, the neutrality has been taken away from him. He's just a presiding person to enforce that thing.
There are many things that the judge cannot decide upon. So your argument has to be that, for me personally, this country is not safe. And how do you do that when you initially, you're running from political or whatever it is.
Political persecution.
Yes.
From your home country.
Yeah, and in
which
Uganda,
is next door.
And in Uganda, they might take you to Luzira prison.
Or send you back to where you came
No,
from.
see, they'll tell those chaps, hey, by the way, we have Nani here, come.
Wow, okay. Now, last question before we go. What do you tell immigrants who are still saying it doesn't matter who you vote for? Because they're there.
I know.
Yeah. A very annoying
Actually-
thing that we always hear that, it doesn't make a difference.
And some of them are my family.
Can I tie something to that? I've been trying to ask this question. There are people who've said that Obama versus Trump, Obama was worse for immigration.
Deporter in chief
than Trump has been. There is an article I read, or basically skimmed through this article a couple weeks ago that said it was a classification of what the Obama administration had, like all the turnaways at the border were classified as deportations. That way the number was high. But I would like to, as you answer, elections have consequences. Can you tie that to that answer?
Okay. So, due process. Due process.
True.
Okay.
It
so
existed.
It
under the Obama administration, people had a right to due process that is in the Constitution. A judge may have ordered more people removed, and so they were removed. It's different in this environment. In this environment, it's random. You pick up people and you send them, and you've made many mistakes in deporting people who should not have been deported. Under the Obama administration, they determined that you're deportable. They go to court. The judge said yes, and you're deported. Here, they don't even do that. They actually tell the judges, and judges have quit because of that. They've told the judges, dismiss this case so we can deport them. And the judges who have refused are no longer judges. Do we understand the difference?
Yeah, they were taken out.
And for people to make a comparison, no one can tell me at any time during the Obama administration were people's windows broken into, people's doors knocked in, people being tased and killed out in the streets. Nobody can tell me that. The fact that we are pretending like this is normal, like this has happened before. Yes, removal, deportations have been around since immigration has been around. Before ICE was created, people were still deported. And the fact that we see what is happening today, and we want to make false equivalences, people need to check themselves and ask themselves very deep questions. If you can see what is happening to a fellow human, forget whether they are from your country, your fellow human, the human part of you cannot see what is happening and really honestly excuse it. It does not matter where the person comes from, what they look like, what language they speak, what accent they may have, how they eat, how they love, how they worship. If you as a human being can see what is happening to people today and you can excuse that behavior, I ask you to look within yourself and check yourself. And I will say this very clearly. The humanity of who we are losing it if we are seeing everything and still think that there is some false equivalency between deporting a lot of people versus inhumanely treating people, harassing people, killing people at point blank for the mere fact that they showed up at a protest where you have a constitutional right to protest. That is what America is. You have a constitutional right to peacefully assemble. And that's all these people have ever done, is peacefully assemble. And if you cannot see the difference, if you are Catholic, go talk to your priest. If you're Muslim, go talk to your imam. If you're Jewish, go talk to your rabbi. You need some counseling. You need someone to seriously talk to you about your humanity, because you are losing your humanity and you need to be careful. And I think that is where this whole thing, people talk about politics. It's not even politics anymore. It's not political. Humanity is not political.
I think, Fatmata, is that there's been a gradual desensitization that has been happening over time, and normalization of certain things, whereby you'll hear people saying stuff like, for example, when racism is being talked about, but they'll say, oh, but everyone is racist. Yeah. So you see that false equivalency. It's become very common, especially in these groups of people who want to, for example, justify their support for President Trump. There's a lot of things, that are being normalized and treating and discussing other people like they're not human. Because you see, for example, what was happening in Minnesota, to especially to the Somali community. Yeah. There's some issues going on right now in Kenya against Somalis, whereby unfortunately in Kenya, you had people who are saying they had it coming for them. And sometimes it's even Kenyans who are here in the US. And I'm telling people, you forget that there was a time when it was the El Salvadorians. It's just that your turn hasn't come yet.
The Haitians.
Yeah, it was the Haitians at some point.
Eating my dogs.
Yeah, so I think
the Puerto Ricans.
We do have, sometimes people who think, rocks cannot reach them, yet they live in glass houses.
But you see, that's and maybe I'm naive, and it's sad to say that as an attorney and advocate who has seen so much. At my age. But why do you have to experience it? Why does it have to come to you? Why can you not see the humanity in a person? Why can you just not see the pain that's been inflicted on a person and say, that is inhumane and it should not happen. Why do you have to experience it? Why does it have to come to you? It shouldn't have to come to you.
You know,
It's programming.
like
You're programmed. That's it.
I hear where you're coming from, but nowadays, you know, like I try to understand things from the perspective of these people. And that's why I'm telling you, what has happened over time is been a gradual desensitization where they start seeing abnormal things as normal. Yeah.
Yeah, and you know, part of the conversations I've had with people, and I wrote about it because I have this Substack that I'm not being very good at putting out.
Subscribe.
Yes, I have a Substack. Look me up,
Okay.
Fatmata Barrie.
What's your name?
Fatmata Barrie.
Okay.
That's all. Well, no. Anyway,
Really?
I'll send it to you. But anyway,
Okay, send it to us.
so I need to do more with it. I'm not. But here's the thing. There has been so much time spent in demonizing communities and communities of color, Black people, immigrant people, that I think to a certain degree we have internalized the hate that has been taught about us. And so we take that hate and we see it and we transpose it onto others who look just like us. And it's the most it's sad. It's an interesting thing. I'm not a sociologist, right? I'm not I'm not any of that. But I think there has to be a moment of looking at how humans internalize hate, because that's really what has happened over time. Hate has been taught so much that we pull it within us and we live with it, and then we transfer it onto other people. And we always think that we somehow will be protected from this hate that we are giving to others. And there has to be a moment of truth telling. Sometimes I think it's because we don't say the thing. And I loved what you said earlier. Call it. You're having sex with children. Because we tend to sort of, you know, we don't want to say anti-Black racism and hate. We don't want to say that.
Call it that.
But it is.
There's that.
Right? If we don't call, and we've spent so much time over decades and generations of not saying the thing, we do the and people know what you mean by but you're not saying what it is.
Let it be jarring.
Let it hit.
Yeah.
Especially now, because if you can't say it, you can't really put anything in place to attack it.
Yeah.
Because that means it's not really tangible.
Because those guys on the other side are saying whatever they're saying.
saying
Yeah.
whatever it is they're saying. And I really hope that, like, you guys have these platforms that are just amazing and you reach so many people. It is a perfect opportunity to ensure that people get the unvarnished truth. People need to realize and understand the harm that is, not to scare people, not to put people in depression, but understand the harm that is, and do not pretend to yourself that you are immune to that thing that is coming, because it's coming. It's not going away.
Yeah.
It's coming.
It's on its way.
And people need to understand, all Africans, since this is an African radio show, you all need to understand there's a concerted effort to separate the United States of America from the continent of Africa. When almost 50% of the countries of the continent are on a list banned from coming into the U.S. and or adjusting your status, there's a clear message, y'all. Africa has never been a security risk for the United States.
Yeah.
Ever.
Or anywhere.
Ever. So it's not security. It can't be security. What do we do? Honestly, we don't. So keep that in mind as you pawn, mon, or whatever over this man who has told you on national television. He did not mince words. He said he doesn't want any third world country people in his country.
Say shithole.
That was before.
That
I'm
was
talking
before.
about now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The man
He
sat in
started
front
a
of the
long time ago.
television and said, I don't want third world countries in this country. He said they are nasty. He called us all kinds of names. And what breaks my heart is we saying, well, he's not lying. Yes, he is. What are you talking about? We all have issues. We all have problems. Every home has an issue. Does that mean that because I have some issues in my home, somebody has a right to come into my house and disrespect my home? No. Take care of your home. Take care of your people. Defend your people. Defend yourself. You really think that this man cares about anybody but himself? Right now, Nigeria let them in, right?
Mm-hmm.
And what are they doing now?
Big mistake.
Now what are they doing? Now they're requiring. They want to put a bill forth to require Nigeria to report to them
To report to them.
on information. They want information provided.
Oh,
There's a
wow.
bill that they're trying to put and pass here. Listen, this government, this current government, as we speak, they don't want black and brown people in this country.
Yes.
They don't mind going to take the things we have on the continent because we all know we're rich in everything. We just don't know how to utilize it properly so we can be self-sufficient. They have no qualms about going to take and bring over. But this particular administration, the man has been very clear. If the fact that he has removed half of the continent from ever entering this country, at least for the time being, if that doesn't tell you anything, I don't know what else will send a message to you. Your country may not be in it, but do you know what your country is giving up to not be in it?
Healthcare data.
Do you know?
Yeah,
That
we
was
know.
bad.
Healthcare data is just one.
I can't speak to it because I don't know.
No, we
But
know.
all I'm-
No, we are
all-
telling
No,
you.
we know. We are telling you.
All
Yeah,
I'm
we are letting
saying
you know.
is
Yeah.
check. See what your country is giving up. What your leadership is giving up to not be on this list. Because people, the man said early on, the agreement he wants to have with people like El Salvador is to get even prisoners, American prisoners,
Sent
to be
there.
sent. And who's the majority of people in prison?
Blacks
Black men.
Yeah.
It's not by accident.
and women.
Yeah.
It's not by accident.
Ye-
And people need to be aware. It's not by accident. People,
Not by accident.
It's not by accident.
Yeah.
And those of us who are from the continent, if you are born or you're still there and you're here, please have some clarity. It's not about politics. It's not about who can have a baby. It's not about whether I have the right to decide if I want to have an abortion. It's not about whether your next door neighbor is from the LGBTQIA community. What they do in their homes is none of your business. It's none of mine. Just like I don't expect someone to come knock on my door and ask me what I'm doing. At some point, we have to realize none of these things are personally impacting your life. But guess what is? The fact that majority of the people who have lost their jobs are black women.
Yeah.
Guess what? That impacts. We have one of the lowest health outcomes. Breast cancer impacts us the highest. So much that is tangible, that is real. consider those. Consider those. And I think that's where Senator Alsop Brooks is going after RFK so much. Because if you cannot get the health aspect proper, everything else really. And I need us to pay attention, not just to the
noise.
To the noise. Pay attention. Pay attention.
To the details. Uno mic.
Pay attention.
Uno mic wahenga.
Wahenga walinena, kilicho na mwanzo hakina budi kuwa na mwisho. Meli imetia nanga. We are about to wrap this puppy up. Remember, for consultancy, Fatmata, Barrie lawcenter.com. BARRIE lawcenter.com.
If you could just paste a link, that would be easy.
We'll do that.
Yeah.
BARRIE lawcenter.com. Mika Arch Budabos, are you still with us?
Party people.
I think Mika left.
Yeah, he did.
Omosh fire.
Yes. What? You know, this show was not supposed to be heavy, but that last part, I'm over here even crying. I'm over here in my seat, just trying to get inside the hole, and it's unbelievable where we are. The America that I came to decades ago, and now, what? You know, there are the questions you ask yourself, and then like I think for some of even our parents who sent us here a long time ago, and they always thought of this place as being that place to be. They're like, my dad, rest his soul. I'm sure like he would just be turning in his grave and like, that's not America that I went to. Yani, what are you doing there? We'll go back. So we need to look at things for the context and for what they are. And, I love what Fatmata told us about, making sure that your people are accountable, have some sort of accountability and so on and so forth, especially if you know that your papers either A, are not in order or they are somehow hanging or whatever is going on. And for that, I'm going to reach out to somebody who I know personally who has those sorts of, I say, hey, I'll be your accountability partner. Just give me all that information so that I know, so that at least I know or somebody knows where you are, because you tend to do disappearing acts. And, at times we don't know where you are, so it's just one of those things. And to me, that's my wake-up call. That's something that I picked up out of this as a wake-up. And I'll reach out to Fatmata also on another personal matter that is immigration related and see what she would advise. Because these things of people showing up for check-ins and then they check you out, that's a very true thing. So, and a lot of us and our people fall within that realm. With that said, have a good week, people. Tomorrow here it's supposed to be 50 degrees. Imagine you might not need a sweater tomorrow.
That feels like summer.
Imagine you might not need a sweater tomorrow. But so go figure out how you're going to enjoy that 50 degrees as you sit under the snow in your deck that's melting. But yeah,
just don't get hit by ice.
And happy Valentine's to
Pun intended.
Yes, happy Valentine's to all the mamas out there. I don't know if I am wearing kind of sort of somewhere close to red, so maybe I've checked the checkbox. That's about as much as I'm gonna do for Valentine's. But yeah, enjoy. It's supposed to be a lover's day. Sijui jamas carry flowers and so on and so forth. Blah blah blah.
Yeah.
See you guys next week. Peace.
Kilungu. Oh, sorry, our guest host.
That's so nice, Omosh. Again, so happy to be back. I think our conversation today leads me back to peace out. Come back when he's gone. But then I do want to vote for you. So, it's in the way.
Vote and most importantly, contribute.
I will do that. I will definitely do that. For the weather, I didn't know about the weather. That's so cool because I arrived on Saturday. The worst day to arrive, coming from a very sunny place. It was so cold. But I survived. I survived the weekend. And happy Valentine's. This is where the joke I wanted to say is coming in. So I have a friend of mine. And for context, she's Muslim, and then she was saying, all the Muslim girls right now are super happy because Valentine's is not falling on Ramadan, because somehow it's always a problem. Like you can't go out. Like it's against Ramadan rules. So Ali.
So Ali.
Ali's brain is processing.
Ali,
that.
I hope you are processing that shilingi ya ua shilinga ya.
Here is a pro tip. This is a pro tip to anyone who cares about their financial future. The best day to buy flowers is February 15th.
True.
Yes.
But we want them
Pro
on
tip.
14th.
Yeah.
But we want them on 14th. I really don't care about the pro tip
What
and
is
financial
14th?
future.
What
I
is
want them on
14th?
the 14th.
Who is Valentine?
Is a quick question, Father. Oh, sorry.
What is 14th?
Anyway, really nice to meet you, to see you
That
guys
is Western
again.
culture. my great grandfathers never
By
celebrated
the way, that's
Valentine's.
exactly what she was saying
Yeah.
that you all say.
Not even
But
that.
anyway,
Did your grandfather celebrate Valentine's?
yes.
Eh? Okay, so mine did.
Nah,
not.
hiyo ni story.
Hiyo ni story.
Once
Hiyo ni kaza
once he knew what it
bonus.
was, he did.
Exactly.
And
you
what
know.
is it?
It's a day.
Just wrap up.
What is it?
It's a day when you wear red and you give a mango, depending upon where you are.
I'm around for 2 months. Let's catch up. It's to be TBD still, but I'll see you guys next week. So looking forward to that.
I'm shocked Pablo is not here.
Oh wait, are
finished.
we on next week?
Yes, we are.
No, actually next week we are not on
Yes,
next week.
yes.
Yeah.
Next week we are on Ramadan.
We are taking a break next week.
It's the beginning of
Yeah.
Ramadan next
Yeah.
week, so we're not
Okay.
gonna start.
Yeah.
Just to support Ali.
Yeah, but we'll come
Yes.
back on
The following week.
The
Yes.
following week on the
Oh, okay,
27th.
sawa,
Yes.
sawa.
But
I'll
you
see
know,
you guys in March.
I'd not thought about Valentine's on Ramadan because from next year
Yeah.
it's gonna take about 4 years.
Exactly. That's what the girl was talking about.
Before Valentine's gets out of Ramadan, because Ramadan it uses the lunar calendar and
Yeah.
it goes back 10 days every year
Yeah.
in this Gregorian solar calendar that we know.
Alhamdulillah wa barakatuh.
Yeah. So
sorry.
you know, like I mean, Valentine's.
Please, the special person in your life, just own it, because it's not gonna happen again. For what you say, 4 years.
What are we honoring? Valentine is capital. That's
Valentine's
capitalism.
Day.
Excuse me.
That's capitalism.
Can we wrap?
Can you
Wrap
can
up?
you two do that privately? Because apparently you are responsible
me.
for her. She has sent
We are
the
gonna
message
sort
out
this out
on air.
after the show.
Yeah, so the two of you will figure it out as you
Yeah, thank you. Yeah.
meander.
Me, I just care about, you know, like people taking care of their finances.
just
That's why I'm giving them.
$20.
That's why I'm giving them pro tips on.
And
on
by
what
the
to
way, we appreciate that deadly.
And by the way, you know, in Kenya, Valentine's is gonna be kwa rugby. You know, because Kenya.
There's
By the
a
way,
there's a
yes.
there's a Kodong clan concert afterwards.
That's
By the way,
afterwards.
that's afterwards.
Yes, that's afterwards. That's
But
that's
majority of the
afterwards.
time,
majority of the time,
Itakuwa Rouge.
itakuwa rugby.
Yes.
At
Yeah,
rugby.
it will be
Higher.
rugby Valentine's.
HSBC.
Yeah.
Kinda.
Sevens.
Yeah. Now, by the
Wow.
way, as a man in Kenya, people never used to celebrate Valentine's. All these
No, it was
things
there.
like
It was
Valentine's.
there.
I don't know
No.
Halloween. Halloween
No.
is creeping.
No,
in.
Halloween.
You know, in Kenya, even
Halloween
people are
wasn't
doing
there.
Thanksgiving.
Halloween wasn't
But
there.
it's there now.
Thanksgiving
Okay.
wasn't there. Yes.
But now it's there.
You're right.
But now it's there.
But Valentine's was always there. Social media has just made things blow up.
Yeah.
That's
Okay.
really what it is.
Okay,
Yeah.
fine. Before Ali wraps up,
Yeah.
parting shot.
Our
Give us your
special
parting
guest.
shot, Fatmat.
Please.
Oh,
Yeah.
I don't think I have any more to say. But
I
The
think
last one.
her dissertation has already been defended.
Yeah.
So I'll just leave you with this. Take care, no matter what status you may have. It's always better to be careful. Understand that things change very, very quickly, very fast with this administration. There are a lot of people fighting. There are a lot of folks who have cases pending, organizations like ACLU, Barrie, African Communities Together. There's just many organizations that are fighting hard for you and for us. There are administrations, local administrations that are doing everything they can. In Montgomery County, we have passed legislation. It was an executive order by County Executive Elrich, but now it has been codified. that we do not work with the federal government, with ICE. At the state level, we just passed legislation to prevent all jurisdictions within the state of Maryland from getting into agreement with the federal government in detaining and deporting people. So there are things moving, there are things happening. As you can see, American people are rising up, and that always gives me some level of hope that the people in power may not always be there. There are changes happening. Texas elections are changing places where it normally would not change. So that should give us some kind of,
November this year is going to be the game changer.
Yeah. So the midterms is what we keep our eyes on. I am urging anyone and everyone who has the ability to vote, regardless of where you stand, whether you think the Democratic Party is amazing or not, whether you like them or not. We have seen what the alternative is. I'm not saying ignore your values. I'm not saying don't believe in what you believe in. What I'm saying is, if you want the status quo right now to change, the only people who are able to make that change at this particular moment in Congress are Democrats, because the only reason this administration is able to do what they're doing so freely is because the Republican Congress has abdicated their responsibilities. The checks and balances are not there, and we need it. And in order to have it, we need to take back the House and the Senate, and we need to do it with great numbers in order to have a real impact. The courts are crucial. You see what is happening. The lower district court, federal courts, would rule the way we know they should rule. It gets to the Supreme Court, and it rolls back. There's a reason why they were so focused on the Supreme Court, and there's a reason why we need to really be serious. If we want to see change happen, we need to have change at all levels, whether it's expanding the court, making sure the House and the Senate become democratic,
Redistrict.
so we can make redistricting. That is major. And I'll put a plug. If you live in Maryland, please call your senators, your state senators, not congressional senators, your state senators, because we have a bill right now, redistricting bill that has passed the General Assembly, the House, and it needs to be brought up in the Senate. And the Senate president right now is refusing.
I read about that.
If you live in the state of Maryland and you believe that all the shenanigans that the Trump administration is doing in Texas and other Republican states, if you want to do something, one way to do it is to call your state senator. Call Senator Ferguson. Call his office. Send emails. Make sure he understands where everybody stands, that Maryland wants to be on the right side of history and impact what happens in Congress as much as we possibly can. This is not about politics. This is not about right or wrong, because we keep going to gunfights with a knife. These people are serious.
A butter knife at that.
A butter knife.
Not even a proper pen knife or whatever. Just a butter knife.
And they are serious. They are
These
doing
guys ain't
everything
playing.
they
Oh my
can
God.
to keep control. And they will do it by making sure
By any
that
means
they have
necessary.
more seats.
Yeah.
And if Maryland can do it a little bit, California has done it. And the
And
courts
Virginia is about to do it.
have given them permission. The court says they could. So why can't we? So Marylanders, please.
Marylanders, we have one Republican.
Yes, Andy Harris.
Okay, so we are trying to grab that from him and
It's not
bring it
about
back
him,
to us. Yeah.
right? It's not about Andy Harris. It's not about Republican or Democrat per se. It's about the fact that the Republicans have done mid-term midterm
Yeah.
redistricting.
Yes.
And at the behest of Trump, at behest of this administration, to make sure that they impact the
The
makeup
outcome, yeah.
Yeah. Mhm.
of the House.
Yeah.
I mean, that is blatant. And for us here in Maryland to now say, two wrongs don't make a right. I'm sorry, what?
Yeah.
They are
Or it doesn't make a difference who
It-
you
they-
vote for.
They
Yeah.
are literally cheating in our face. And we are saying, well, just because they're doing it doesn't mean we should. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
So you want them to maintain the House by cheating so that they continue to raise the havoc that they are doing right now. So anyone who lives in Maryland, I'll say it again,
Yeah.
reach out to your state senators, reach out to the Senate president, send out emails, get a coalition of people, show up, and make sure they understand this is important. Maryland should be on the right side. Our Speaker of the House, God bless her soul,
Yeah.
she has done her job. The House has done their job. It's now up to the Senate.
Okay. All right. Thank you so much, Fatmata. You know, like there was a funny comment that I was reading while you were talking. There's someone in Kenya who was saying Valentine's Day should be suspended until further notice because of what's going on in the country. But anyway, that's a story for another day.
True.
But when it comes to politics, I think people need to separate things. There's issues that I know are very near and dear to a lot of us, but they're wedge issues. So I think people need to identify what is a wedge issue and what are the issues that are really affecting our day-to-day bread and butter. That's what people need to do, because I think these wedge issues, the Trump administration has been very good at throwing them and then letting people start fighting on those wedge issues, and then underneath here they're doing other things that are more consequential to our day-to-day lives, and people are not paying attention to those. So that's very, very important, you know, because they like throwing these red meat issues. I mean, for example, these Epstein files, I think they've morphed into something that they never expected they will. And I think there's consequences to leaders outside of America more than inside of America. You know, like in countries like the UK, you know, like you have people resigning, you have people losing their jobs. In the UAE, there's places, even Kenya has been featured in the Epstein files. You know, like I was very surprised to find out, you know, like there was some Emirati sultans who were telling Epstein that they could connect him to Uhuru Kenyatta. And, you know, like it's very interesting. I mean, I just don't have the bandwidth and time to start going through them, but there's so much shenanigans that's happening in there. But Ms. Fatmata, thank you so much for coming in and for schooling us. Very, you know, like valuable information, especially in these very difficult times. We have another 3 years to go, almost 3 years. It's not a short time, because think about what they've been able to do, the damage they've been able to do in 1 year. So unless we slow things down this upcoming midterms, then we're going to be in some serious trouble. My hope, and this is just my hope, I don't know if it's going to happen, if we could get an overwhelming majority both in the House, the Senate is a bit tricky, but we can get a few Republicans and open an impeachment trial, because I believe that that is a possibility. That's a possibility. I know it looks, you know, like a bit crazy right now, but with the crop of progressives who we are seeing winning, you know, like these offices, we're going to have a bunch of Ilhan Omars and a bunch of, you know, like just a number of these progressive candidates win elections, because we're already seeing them, you know, like winning in a lot of primaries. Look at Mamdani in New York, and he's doing things very unapologetically. So if we get a bunch of mamdanis, and we don't need a lot of them, we just need a few of them, and I can assure you we're going to start seeing that some change. Stop saying that it doesn't make a difference who you vote for. That's one of the most annoying phrases that I hear. And then someone telling you at like me, I'm not going to vote anymore.
Then
It doesn't make a difference.
Then when things bite the dust, you start lamenting.
Yes, you start lamenting.
Kula yo.
Yeah, again, and like we reminded you, we're not going to have an episode next week, but we'll be back the week after next week.
Yes.
And we'll let you know. We have some good things planned for you. The year is still raw. We might still be a bit rusty, but we have a lot of good programs.
And they say raw is war.
Yeah, coming
But
up
it is
for you.
our too.
Yeah. Na kwa hayo machache, yote ambaye anataka kunipigia simu, nambari yangu bado ni ile ile 1-800 mteule. Na operator akishika simu, mwambie unataka kusema na mjukuu. Na akikuuliza ni mjukuu yupi, mkumbushe ni mjukuu yule yule wa Masai. Because I'm Kenyan by blood, American by design, Masai by choice. Sichagui, sikagui, na sibagui. Kwaherini.
Aiden, Daddy loves you. Jerry, Daddy loves you. Nemo, Daddy loves you. And happy Valentine's to all the people celebrating. Until the other week, be blessed.
And let's kill that YouTube.